Something like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's channel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button, because you already know what time it is, and you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've even seen some people do it well. But what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this. And it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content now. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks. Today we are back with, once again, another very interesting show. We are going to be dealing with man gets 8 years for being attacked by a woman. Yes, y'all. Man gets 8 years for being attacked by a woman. It's a crazy story that I can see why people would take a couple different positions on. I can see it. I ain't saying it's right, but I can see it. But this one is a good one, y'all. Now, if y'all are new to the Roger Report Live, sometimes we put links in the description. Won't be on every show, but a lot of times there's a link in the description. You want to make sure you check out the links before the show starts, so you'll be able to keep up with everything that's going on, and you'll know what we're referring to. So there is a link in the description. Boom. So now you can know the story that we gonna talk a little bit on. Okay. Now, before we get too started, let me say, first of all, shout out to all the people who give me views on a regular basis, because y'all make the fam. Appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. Shout out to all the people who leave comments after the stream. Appreciate your input. Shout out to all the people who hype me up every chance they get. Y'all see me as a winner, and I appreciate it, because I see you as a winner too. And shout out to all the people who hit that like button. Y'all know that helps the algorithm carry the channel on and make it grow. So shout out to everybody. All they need is a little exposure. And when y'all do that stuff, y'all help people get exposed. They get a little exposure to Roger Report Live. It's real easy to become a subscriber. once they hear some of the content. So I appreciate everybody for doing that. And shout out to all the people who go above and beyond the call of duty, who also become financial contributors to the stream, because y'all allow me to do things that I wouldn't be able to do without you. And I can definitely put on better shows than I would have been able to do without you. So shout out to each and every person who puts any money on the wood at the Roger Report Live, because all money on the wood is good. All money on the wood is good. So a special shout out goes to Jay Bones. He's our sponsor of today's stream. Shout out to Jay Bones. He is our sponsor of today's stream. Appreciate you big time, my brother. Appreciate you big time, my brother. And I want to give a few shouts to some of the first people to check in this morning, because it's always great when you start the show that you got a couple people that check in with you. And hey, anybody's welcome to be first. Okay, now if you try to come too early, it ain't gonna work out for you. But if you come too late, it ain't gonna work out for you. So you got to be perfect. You got to be perfect. But everybody should be trying to get what we like to call around these parts the Highlander of today's stream. And so shout out to the Highlander of today's stream. My main man, Mr. Me Too, is in the building as the Highlander of today's stream. Glad to see you at it again. Glad to see you at it again, my brother. Appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. Shout out to the great Black Reset is in the building as well. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Shout out to Trail Bentley representing as he always does. Hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. Hashtag Hail Hydra. Shout out to Bruce Owen Wayne. Glad to see you here, my brother. We're going to address your question real soon, brother. But I'm just, hey, that's what happened. I know that's probably a reaction from the title, but that is what happened. Shout out to Gold P is done to grab the seat, and he's at the cool table, sitting right next to my main man, Tunnel Runner. Good to see you both. Good to see you both. I see Chef Mike's Roundtable representing for the pit crew. Glad you're here, my brother. Shout out to the pit crew. We got Floyd Thompson in the house as well. Yay, yay. And Computer Geek just burrowed in through the door. Glad to see you, my brother. Glad to see you. We about to get into this one, y'all. We about to get into this now. Maybe I don't say it enough. Maybe I don't say it enough, and I'll make some attempt to try to say it more, y'all. You're basically welcome over here at the Roger Report Live. If you're a person who wants to get on the panel and get some comments, you ain't got to stay the whole show. But if you want to get your input in, it's okay for you to come up, even if it's just for a couple minutes, say what you got to say, and get on about your business if that's what you want to do. Some people going to stay and they going to chill. Other people, you may just want to get a couple comments in. It's all good. You all are welcome to do what you do. After I get a little bit of a monologue, usually, though. So, y'all, I got to say, I'm going to give a public apology, y'all. We were supposed to be going over the banker for reviews for the culture. I had to push it to next week. I had a family emergency that came on, y'all. It was a family emergency. Y'all know how that goes. If y'all have been listening to me for any kind of period of time, y'all should already have an understanding that family is important to me. Unfortunately, we had a family emergency. Everybody gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. You know, some things take a little time, but they will be fine. So I did have an emergency though, so I had to go tend the family. So, my apologies, but we will, and this just give me a better time to announce it. So next week, Sunday, 6 p.m., y'all, we will be going over the movie The Banker for reviews for the culture, which I think was a great movie. So if you want to hear how our opinions on that and how we took that in, join us Sunday. And my apologies for having to back it up. It was a family emergency, y'all. I do apologize. Now let's get on to today's show, y'all. Let's get on to today's show. All right, y'all. Now, and I gotta say, due to the family emergency, a lot of times I like to check out more than just what I put in the links in the description, but I did not get to check this story out beyond what is in the description. So that video is all I'm going off of on this particular one, y'all. So I'm gonna have to take everything they said as long on this one. Okay. But to me, it still makes for a very interesting discussion because, and I appreciate you saying that, Chef Mike. I appreciate you saying that. He said, we know how you are about your family. No need to apologize. Well, thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. I do appreciate you saying that. So I listened to this video, y'all. Same video y'all heard, that's what I heard. So I don't even have any other information at this particular point because I was wrapped up in an emergency and didn't get to see about it how I wanted to. Okay. But I hear this story. Okay. Now, I know in this country it's hard for a black man to get some justice. It's almost impossible for a black man to get some justice. In some situations, if you believe hard enough, or some people say if you got enough money, you might be able to eke some justice out. Now, in this particular case, we got a man and a woman. And shout out to Brooklyn's Finest. Glad to see you, brother. Glad to see you. We got a man and a woman here who are in a on again, off again relationship. That's what it was described as. On again, off again. So they break up to make up. That's what they do. All right. Okay, that's their business at the end of the day. It's on again, off again. But now we have a situation where the gentleman says to her, it's over. Now I'm thinking, if y'all got an on again, off again relationship, if he's saying it's over, is it really over, or is it just over for right now? Because that's what happens when you deal with on again, off again relationships. So if they gave us an accurate depiction, why trip so hard if it's off right now? Y'all gonna be on again. Now, I'm not saying on again, off again relationships are a good thing for people to keep up in, but those are people's personal decisions. But if it's off right now, it's gonna be on again. You ain't got to trip that hard. So now we seen the brother, he trying to take care of his business. He peeped the fact that he being followed. Now, I'm not sure if he recognized the car that was following him because the man dipped through the gas station. If he would have recognized that that was his ex-old lady, as they say, right behind him, would he dip through the gas station? So I don't know if he knew that that was her. All right. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know that. But he dipped through the gas station. So he say, finally, I'm going to go on to AutoZone because that's what I was doing. I need to get a battery for the car. I'm going to might as well get to AutoZone and figure it out from there. Now, once you pull in the AutoZone and you park your car, he ran in the AutoZone real quick, told him to call the police. This indicates to me he may not be sure what's going on. I don't know. Does he recognize it's actually her or not? Because to me, I'm going to say, okay, it doesn't necessarily seem like he recognized it was her. Shout out to Computer Geek. He say, like on Facebook. It's complicated. Well, I guess this was complicated. Complicated in a multitude of ways. Now it got simplified. Okay, this got real simple, but it was complicated. It was very complicated. Now I'm thinking, y'all, does she even love this man? Okay, is it this serious at the end of the day? Because a lot of black women, the few times they get rejected, because a lot of black men just won't break up with a woman. Let's just keep that real. We should know that about ourselves as a collective. I ain't accusing any person listening. I'm just saying we should know that a lot of black men will not break up with a woman. But even when you do attempt to break up with a woman, women take that some type of way a lot of times because in their minds, they don't believe a nigga should be able to break up with them. Because as much as they say whatever, they keep showing that they have these views of us, just like a white man or a white woman who are white supremacists. They look at us like a nigga too in a multitude of ways, and they show it. So I guess this nigga can't break up with her as far as she concerned. So she done went to the AutoZone. She done seen the man, followed the man, cut through the gas station with the man. Then park behind this dude to indicate that he can't go nowhere. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Shout out to what's his Ink Intelligent Ink Intelligent and Dirtha. Ink Intelligent. What I don't know what this is. My bad. I don't know. Ink Intelligent and Dirth. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm probably butchering your name. I can't see it that well. My bad. My bad. He says, all I know, if a man use violence, he will always be looked at as in the wrong. He will always be looked at as in the wrong unless he's fending for his life. Now I'm gonna say this, man. Luckily, I ain't never had a car chase me down, then park behind me. I ain't gonna say I ain't never had a car get behind me. I ain't gonna never say people ain't never tried to carjack a car I was in. I done had a few incidents out there. I ain't never parked somewhere and then somebody come in right behind me to indicate they trying to stop me from moving. It's got to be a tough situation. For me, my mind gonna go, these people trying to handle some business. So now I gonna have to either handle it first or because they definitely trying to get the drop on me. I am not gonna think for a second that is a friend, a family member, somebody playing, somebody I know. I'm thinking somebody want the drop on me. And I got to figure out how I'm gonna get my way out of this. And sometimes I'm gonna just try to be more aggressive than the person who's trying to be aggressive toward me, because this might help you get a victory or at least get out the situation. So now the man got a gun. He got his ghost gun. Man got the ghost gun ready to go just in case. The woman walks up on him. Now y'all can just imagine what kind of stuff she's saying. Okay. Nigga, who is you to break up with me? Nigga, we gonna be together until I say we not. Nigga, we together forever. Whatever range of stuff she's saying. Now, when the case goes to court, I'm not surprised that they set this up as we gonna charge this dude with murder. That does not surprise me. Okay, that does not surprise me. And my thing is, this is the first time I heard something like this, y'all. But I think we need to kind of be aware, because this may be a signal of something new that's going on in the American justice system. This might be a signal of something new. You overcharge a person to then get them to plea out with what you think a fitting charge is. Is that a new tactic? Now, it could just be a one-time thing. I haven't heard of this before. I've heard of overcharging people, but I've never heard of overcharging somebody so you can get a plea deal for what should have been the charge in the first place. I ain't never heard of that one. So now I'm wondering, is this a new slick thing that's going about the American justice system? Maybe it's new. Maybe it's only been happening the last 6 months or so, a year or so. Maybe it's something that's been going on for a while, but I just hadn't heard of it yet. So I don't know. I've heard of people getting overcharged, but I've never heard of somebody getting overcharged just to reduce it to what they think you should have got in the first place. I'm not saying it ain't been happening. Shout out to Red Pill Steve said, he said, no, it always happens. Well, that's new to me, man. That's new to me. I didn't know they was knocking it down right to what they should have charged you in the first place if they was going to charge you. But it does not surprise me. Okay? It don't surprise me, though. So now, they trying to do my man dirty here. They definitely trying to do him dirty. Now, why am I saying they trying to do him dirty? Because what happened? All he did was kill one chick. The man did not start killing random people. Okay? The man did not go out looking for trouble. The man was literally going to buy a car for his battery. He wasn't going nowhere to get into no mess. He had a ghost gun. Now, I'm not going to say he should have had a ghost gun. I'm going to say he should have technically went and got a legitimate gun. Cool. He got a year for that gun, though. When she was giving out what the sentence was going to be, he got a year for that gun. Can I respect a year sentence for a gun that you didn't properly register? And, it seemed like this man ain't had no trouble with the law before. I didn't remember any mention of trouble he previously had with the law. So the man basically was a good dude. handling his business. He tried to get his car taken care of, get the battery done. Man need a new battery. He handling his business. Now, a crazy woman cuts behind his car to block him in. A crazy woman argued with him because he has a gun and she don't even back off. A crazy woman attacks him while he's holding a gun. Now, I understand people may say, well, it wasn't just some crazy woman. He just broke up with her. This is new ex. Does that mean she ain't crazy? Just because he happens to know who the woman is, does that mean she's not crazy? Just because he was sleeping with her and broke off a relationship, does that mean she ain't the crazy woman she is? Because I'm going to ask you, y'all, unless you had some serious training, you can always find a guy with no legs, okay? There is an exception to a rule. I ain't gonna act like there's not. It's a guy out there somewhere with no legs. So unless you done took some serious training and you're extremely proficient, why are we fighting people with guns? That's what I'm wondering. Why are we fighting people with guns? Something is probably gonna happen the moment you start fighting somebody with a gun. The trigger's gonna get pulled. That's how this usually gonna go. If you decide to fight somebody who has a gun, it's unfortunate, we can say, but usually once people start having a fight about a gun, a trigger will be pulled. Whatever happened to saying, oh, you got it? Whatever happened to it ain't that serious? What happened to my bad and backing up? What happened to, man, is you crazy and just running away? I don't know. But that ain't what she was on. Okay. Shout out to Apple Merch. He said, when you bringing a fist to a gunfight. Yeah, that don't seem right to me, y'all. That don't seem right to me. Now, I do understand that this guy was perceived as a good guy, even by the family of the woman who got herself killed by having a fight with a man with a gun. Okay. Now, I guess you knew the man, but does that mean you're supposed to fight a guy with a gun? Now, if you military trained, special forces, all that good stuff, if you want to fight a man with a gun because you believe you got it, I ain't even mad at you. At least you didn't have some proper training. But if you just a random person fighting a guy with a gun, now I'm assuming she's never had proper training to fight a person with a gun. That is my assumption. And I'm rolling with that assumption. Because what's the likelihood that she's been trained to fight a man with a gun? And I mean, these are young people. I'm not saying people couldn't have been trained since they was kids. But if you were trained to fight a man with a gun, the first thing they tell you is back off whenever, if you can walk away from it, walk away from it. Ain't that the first part of training for people with guns? If you can back away from it, back away from it. I mean, even if you had a gun yourself, they say don't pull on the person who already got something pulled. Ain't that like basic beginners of gun training? So she didn't seem to give an indication to me that she was trained about some guns in the first place. Now, I like to let a little bit of time go in before I do my monologue, but I'm gonna let this particular guest get up here and start doing his thing because I like him like that, and I play favorites sometimes. I play favorites sometimes. Suey, what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? My main man, Lewis, is here. What you got to say on this, my brother? What you got to say? How you doing?
I appreciate that great compliment you gave me. One, shout out to the judge, Becky, for admonishing the prosecutor, but that's a tactic the law system use all the time in Jersey. I don't know about Chicago, but in Jersey, they throw all these types of charges at you especially if you're an individual that doesn't have the financial resources that could afford you a proper defense to scare you so you could plea out. But watching the video, this could also be a test case where people can hold the judicial system properly, because the judge out of her mouth said he's pleading to a charge that he should have been charged with in the beginning. So if that's the case, the government, because the prosecutor works for the government, was practicing legal malpractice. And with the individual, the actual victim, the man is getting 8 years. I feel sorry for the man. That's also he's the poster child for you're not safe out here, men. Defend yourself. But I came up here to primarily address the legal aspects, and I could guarantee you, if that judge was a black woman, he would have got hit with all the charges. And I rest my case. Shout out to Becky.
Hey man, Becky looking somewhat good on the way you just painted that picture. And I'm not gonna argue that a black woman would have been looking to do a man even more than that. I'm pretty sure you're right on that note. Pretty sure you're right. Now I'm gonna say shout out to Afro Merchant. He says, and shout out to Afro Merchant, because I don't think I gave you props for the cash chat you sent on Friday. I know I said something about a super chat you did, but I'm not sure if I gave you props for that cash app. And if I didn't, I apologize. But I just want to make sure I say it now, so it don't bug me that I didn't show you some love. So shout out to you for the cash app on Friday, my brother. Appreciate it. Now, Afro Merchant says, unfortunate event, but according to the judge and defendant, she boxed the men, and they were arguing as she was eyeing the gun. 8 to 10 years for manslaughter sounds fair. And you know what? I think that's a reasonable statement. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I think it's a reasonable statement. 8 to 10 years for manslaughter? Okay, cool. It didn't come off as manslaughter to me, though. But I'm going to chill for a hot second, because the Great Black Reset done, I done let one person up, so now he think he's special too, and he going to come up. But, you know what I'm saying, so I don't make him cry. I'm going to go ahead and give him the mic to show him that, hey, even though he ain't been around all that long as some of the rest of us has, we welcome him as a brother. So I'm going to treat him good, y'all. I'm going to treat him good. Great Black Reset, you about 2 minutes and 30 seconds too early, but go ahead, my brother. You all right.
I appreciate it. I get the redhead stepchild treatment every now and then, but I appreciate it. This is what I want to say about this thing here. I appreciate the judge pointing out the inadequate defense that this young man had. I appreciate the judge also pointing out that she received 2 different videos. One video from the defense that shows more clearly an entire picture, and in the other video where the prosecution actually cut things out of the video to make him look guilty. So just knowing that when you go into a courtroom as a black man, that's what you're going to be facing. However, looking at the family members and listening to them respond to what kind of person she was an auntie, she was a sister, and all these other things. And the brother with the long hair that don't care, that got raised by his sister after his mother died, and looking at the way that he carries himself, and looking at this young man that allegedly committed a crime. I say he defended himself, but he admitted to some form of guilt. I would not have done that. But looking at the people that she surrounded herself with, looking at her brother whom she raised, the way he carried himself, the way he purported himself in a courtroom with hair in his face like a woman, and bro, I find it hard to even care that this happened. I just don't care. I'm looking at the people in her life. I'm looking at this young man that she was dating and all this other kind of stuff. If you want to be with some long haired dude that carry guns around for no reason, that ain't got no that don't have any serial numbers on it, that sounds like a you problem. If I was on the jury, I would have I'd have said not guilty because she attacked him. She boxed him in. He defended himself. He shot her, and apparently she didn't care that he had a gun. She just thought, nigga, I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway, and he shot her. I don't care. I don't care. She earned it. She earned it from the man that she chose to be with. She earned it from the way she lived her life. The best thing she did her whole entire life was not have a child. At least she spared us that. I just don't care. I don't. And I'm gonna land right there.
All right, all right. I wish I'd have checked in more to see if she really don't have, or if it just wasn't mentioned. But pink toes in my mouth. You got the flow, my brother.
Happy Monday, Roger. Happy Monday to everybody. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
All right. Happy Monday. So y'all finally understand why I love my pink toes so much. Mm. When your own people do you dirty, you get saved by the pink toes, man. That's why I will always have pink toes dipped in watermelon in my mouth. Okay. This is saved by Beck. But when it comes to them teachers doing what teacher does, he says teacher wants to deal with real N word and teacher got end result. Yeah. You are here trying to fight somebody who's armed already. Just walk away. You know what I mean? You cannot always be right, teacher. Sometimes you're gonna be wrong. And when you're wrong and you keep playing around, you might get stuck. Okay? It just is what it is, you know? And anyway, when I say pink, you say toes. Pink toes. Thank you. You hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you. Okay, so you good. Okay. I would say shout
Man,
out to Afro Merchant. He says they said he was robbed the week before, which is why he carried the gun. If you're not a felon, it should be easy to get a legal firearm in Ohio, though. Now, this is the thing. I'm not gonna sit here and make an excuse for him having a gun that he didn't have registered to him. At the end of the day, it's still his responsibility to do things the proper way as people see it. Now, I don't necessarily agree. I don't even believe you should need a gun license, but unless you're ready to fight that case in court, you need to go you need to go get your paperwork. It's that simple. It's that simple at the end of the day. So I'm not gonna excuse him for not having proper paperwork and having a proper gun, but she gave him a year for that gun. I'm cool with him getting a year for the gun because he could have did it the right way, but he just didn't choose to do it, quote unquote, the right way. Now, if he felt that he didn't need a license because it's not necessarily something the Constitution says he has to get, if he really wanted to have that argument, he could have, but it didn't even seem like he went there. So if he don't believe in that, he should have just went. He should have just simply went and got a valid license and do it whatever rules that state has. He should have just did it by the rules. If you ain't gonna be right all the way, just leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? Leave it alone. So
I'm I'm not mad that he shot her. She lunged into the car to wrestle the gun away from him. I don't care.
well, I didn't say
Oh no, no,
I,
I didn't say that
okay,
you said that. I'm
okay.
just making a comment like that. Like I don't care that he had the gun. I don't care that he illegally possessed the gun. I don't care that he shot her because she lunged at the gun. I'm a little disappointed that he felt like he needed to pull a gun on a woman. I should just beat the brakes off her.
Well, it looks like he needed that gun for that woman because that gun didn't even stop her. So I'm gonna say, based on circumstances, that gun wasn't even enough. So I mean, we can do a lot of things. We can say a lot of things, but
I guess
based
you're
on
right.
circumstances, that gun didn't even stop her. So I'm saying, when it comes down to it, man. Now look, there's different positions people can take, and I'm saying I can honestly accept him getting a year for that gun because that gun wasn't quote unquote registered properly. I'm good with that, but that's only a year. Okay, he just did something that made the fact that he had a gun come out, but that ain't the end of the world. At the end of the day, if you ask me, that's just not the end of the world that it came out that he had a gun that he wasn't supposed to have. So now, when it comes down to it, though. This is the thing. Okay, when it comes down to it, the thing is, did he do anything wrong? Because my perspective is he was defending himself. When you start a fight with a person with a gun is easy for a gun to go off. It don't take that much pressure to pull a trigger, and that thing go off. So she fought a man with the gun. I think she killed herself. You lunge across a person with a gun in their hand. What you expect to happen in that scenario? So, I mean, the judge saying something to the prosecution about how it should have never been presented as a murder in the first place, and trying to get him to plead down to something that they probably should have charged him with from Jump Street, which means the plea deal was no advantage to him at all. So to me, it still sounds like everybody else is BSing around. Because I don't see how we look at this scenario and see the man as a threat in this particular situation. He's not the person that went to the other car. The aggressor is the person who gets out their car and goes to the second car. That wasn't him, that was her. He pulled out a gun because somebody cut him off. Again, I don't even think he recognized it was her. Because they didn't mention anything about him. They say he's so involved with her family that he was a pallbearer. So if she has a vehicle, wouldn't he be able to recognize it? So I'm thinking she's driving somebody else's car. Because why is he acting like he's being followed if you know it's her? So he don't know who's following him. Now, he got his gun to make sure he okay. He done told the people that not was on to call the police. So he's trying to get out this situation. That's how I see him setting himself up. He's trying to set himself up where he somehow gets out this situation. Did he make the best moves? Not necessarily. Because I would have told all those on the call the police, and I probably would have dipped anyway because some niggas is following me. That's how I'm thinking in my mind. Oh, these some niggas following me? You know what I'm saying? These people is up to no good if they blocking my car in. But you got to go back to the car, probably even see that you got blocked in. But whatever it was, I wouldn't stay with the car, especially if I'm holding something. I don't need to stay with the car. Now, if you come around this wrong corner, you out of there. It's that simple to me. So I took it as, for whatever his reason, he's sitting in the car to try to make him to show that he's not a guilty party in whatever's about to go down. Because he's worried about how the police is going to respond to this. And I can understand that. I just don't necessarily think it was the best choice to wait in that car. But now the thing is, she attacked a person with a gun. Now, it's a person she knew, yes. But she still attacked the person with a gun. How's this not her own fault that she did? Now, I'm going to say, real talk, y'all, I don't care what I done been through. I don't care how mad I get. If I walk up on you and you got a gun already pulled, I'm backing off. It's that simple. Whatever we mad about, we can talk about this later. You already got the drop on me. It's time for me to exit. It's that simple at the end of the day. If the gun already on me, the best thing I can figure out how to do is how to get out of here before I end up in a position that my father calls being dead wrong. Okay, you could be right, but you could be dead. You could be wrong, but you could be dead. But either way, you dead wrong. So now I'm go to his car door. It's opened up and you see a gun. Yeah, it's time for me to back off of this one. And then that's a female. You couldn't say put that gun away so we can talk. Something. You know, if he refused to put the gun away, then it's time to walk away. Not saying he wouldn't have refused. Not saying he don't have a right to refuse. But what I'm saying is, y'all, I think the judge is also as problematic as the prosecution was as well, because obviously the prosecution was being problematic. The judge said something to kind of seem like a good gesture, I guess. And I do believe they said it started with 18 years. Now it got brought down to 10 and a half years where he has to serve a guaranteed 8. That's a lot of years for somebody attacking you. And that's why I labeled this the way I did. Man gets 8 years for being attacked by a woman. Because that's how I see it. He got attacked. He was chased down. His car was cut off. He had a gun on him, and the person who went after the gun didn't care that he had one. My reasonable conclusion, if you're going to fight over a gun, that trigger will be pulled. That's my reasonable conclusion. I don't care what two people we're talking about. It could be a brother and sister. It can be a father and son. It could be a mama and daughter. When two people start fighting, somebody's probably going to pull that trigger. So we don't want the gun to go off. We shouldn't be fighting in the first place with somebody who got a gun. That just makes sense to me. So my thing is, he, quote unquote, committed a crime by having a ghost gun. But other than that, what crime do we accept that he committed? Now, if y'all believe he committed something other than having a gun without proper paperwork, go ahead and say so if you disagree with me, because I can understand somebody presenting he didn't have proper paperwork for the gun. I do totally get that.
I don't
Does
think he
anybody
did
see
anything.
anything else wrong?
I don't think he did anything wrong. He wasn't in commission of a crime or anything. He was defending himself with what was available to him. I think the gun should be thrown out altogether.
You know,
I don't
me
think he
too.
I
should
think
have
so
did
too.
any time.
This reminds me of
Eh,
Jonathan Majors. You know, he got chased down and still got sanctioned for.
yep.
Easy. A Negro can win. You know what I mean? I was chasing you down. You're running away, and he still find a way to pin all that on you. I do.
The crime that was committed by his lawyer. That's the crime. This woman was obviously the aggressor. Obviously the aggressor, driving dangerously through a parking lot, blocking this man in, coming up to his vehicle, opening the door, and attacking him, knowing he had a weapon.
Mm.
She was all the way wrong. She's supposed to be dead. I do not care.
Well, and y'all, the only reason I'm letting the gun thing go, because I don't want to turn this particular thing into an argument about what you need to have a gun. Because in my estimation, the Constitution already secured you. You know, it endorses your God-given right to have a gun. Because the Constitution doesn't give you a right. The Constitution only acknowledges rights that people already have based on their creator. So I'm not going to say the Constitution the Constitution didn't give you any rights if you understand it. It just acknowledged certain rights you already were given by your creator. But there are some people going to argue from a paperwork standpoint about guns. So I'm going to say, okay, if you're not ready to and prepared to fight that fight, which seemed like he wasn't even about that, then he should have went and got his gun the quote unquote legal way. So to have a ghost gun without having knowledge of that and not really even trying to set a defense on that, you shouldn't have had that gun. So I'm gonna say the year he got for having the gun, I can accept that year. Everything else I think is wrong because again, just like you said, he was not the aggressor. He was going to AutoZone to buy a battery. She was coming to AutoZone to, as far as I can tell, to kill him. And I'm saying, what intentions does a person have when they cut your call? Now I don't know about y'all, but to me that's a maneuver you make when you about to kill somebody.
Hey, man, I think she, at the least that's attempted kidnapping. I think he defended himself from an attempted murder, and I think he did a swell job of it, and I think his lawyer did a poor job of defending him.
Okay, well I can't argue that. I mean, it definitely wasn't the greatest job. If that's how he ended up, it definitely wasn't the greatest job. Shout out to Afro Merch. He said playing devil's advocate, which is cool. Anytime somebody want to play devil's advocate, it's welcome. It's always welcome. But he says, but could he have de-escalated the situation? Now I'm gonna say based on what's the report, I don't think he could have.
He could have shot her in the knees. She'd calmed down.
Well, bro, he was trying not to shoot her at all, though.
Or the pinky toe.
You know what? My bad. Just go and get your open statement in, and because I'm gonna address this, because I don't personally think he could have actually de-escalated this one. But go ahead and get your open statement in.
Well, yeah, thanks, Roger, for having me up, man. I don't know the virtual line stepper. Yay. Back giving some money to the panel and chat. I'm going to put on my tin foil koofy hat and say he shouldn't have got no years. She just walked away. She been able to walk away. But the judge was salty because there were two versions of the same incident, two different videos. And if she didn't have the other version that disrupted the first one, he probably would have got them 18 years. I believe that. But then back up to the family. I'm thinking about the relationship situation, on again, off again, and how this probably escalated with, this is probably his first time breaking up with her. But she probably had threatened him, telling him that if you break up with me, I'm gonna have somebody do something to you. Thus, the robbery the week before he had the ghost gun. Well, she probably went to go get his gun license, but you know the background checking, the wait time, and all that stuff, and decided I'm really leaning toward leaving this woman. I just buried her mom a month ago. Met this fine ass chick when I was carrying the casket. She's been eyeballing me. She's been texting me. I've been on her page. She's been DMing me. I want to leave this chick because she ain't gonna do me right. She know this girl ain't no good. But go to the family. Family probably already know she's problematic. She probably like how Miss Piggy acts toward Kermit. Every time he try to break up with her, she wind up beating him up. Or cockblocking, doing the breakup session. She could do what she want to do when they broke up, but when he want to break up, oh, you mine forever. She probably was trying to go for that gun and give him that ultimatum that all these women do when they get in that situation. If I can't have you, nobody can have you. Probably would have offered him and herself. And probably this wouldn't even be in a news story. AutoZone probably wouldn't have, they still would have probably called the police, but it'd been for murder, suicide. I'm not my playing that, bro. Thanks for having me on my show.
That's interesting that you think she might have offed herself, because I don't just necessarily believe a chick gonna do that. I think a chick doing as much as she doing, don't necessarily think she has to be held accountable to anything, because she chased that man down and blocked him in. So I think, yeah, she saw a gun. I don't think she possibly, there's a possibility that she did not go there to kill him. I'm not gonna say that's a for sure thing, because she moved like a person that went there to kill him. Who pulls behind somebody's car so they can't drive out? If you don't have no real harm toward them as far as in your plans, why would you do something like that? I mean, everybody done got pissed off here and there. Sometimes people argue about parking spots, all kinds of stuff. But who blocks somebody in with their own vehicle?
Well, I had it happen to me before, but that was just for ex-wives, so cousins who were murderers from Juliet, trying to threaten the brother. And at the end of the day, I had to tell them, stay the hell out of my business, because this is my wife. I don't give a damn, it's your cousin. It's my wife. They have a business, or you're going to have a reason to go back to jail. Or worse. You ain't going to make it.
So that was truly a threatening situation. That person meant harm. That's what that sounds like to me. They did it because they did mean harm. I don't see people doing stuff like that if they don't mean to harm you. So now she might have been surprised that he would pull the gun out on her. But see, my thing is this is an off again, on again relationship. She already know he got a gun. 9 times out of 10, she's already even aware that he has a gun. So why she just won't back off is beyond me. Other than the fact that she don't think a nigga, based on how she looking at him, a nigga should be able to break it off. And if it truly was final, and she don't like the fact that he ended it, not her ending it, then I can see why she would do all this type of stuff, because she don't believe in her heart that a nigga is gonna break up with me. I'm too good for this. And they say her mother had died a year ago, and he's a pallbearer. So he been cool with the family. So at the end of the day, I don't see him being this cool with the family, and then he's seriously going there to hurt them. And shout out to the sponsor of today's stream, my main man, J Bones, just dropped $5 on the super chat. Well, the super sticker. Hey, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, brother. You got a great show to represent your show, if you ask me. But I do believe everybody gets that. I'm just saying. But let's also now. Wait a minute. Did you make an opening statement? Pink Toes. I gave you opening statement. Yeah. So let's get unalive and demonetize these names, y'all. Go ahead, chime in for us. What you got on this one?
My brother, I think every man on this stream and in the world understands by American law standards that most women don't fear consequences based on their actions that they take. Pretty much, I think at this time when this sister approached this situation, she never thought about anything happening to her based on that she believes that the law was always going to be on her side, even at the point that she got unalive. So with that whole mindset, this is pretty much why you get situations of this nature.
Okay, that's it. All right.
That's it. That's all I got.
What? That's all you need. That's all you need. Now, I'm going to say, yeah, the justice system, and see, I think this particular case just shows how much the justice system is out to get us as black men. Because, again, I understand charging him for the ghost gun because he didn't have the quote unquote proper paperwork. So I do get that. It came out during this act. Was it in commission of a crime? I just don't see this as a crime. I'm thinking about this from a realistic standpoint. I have a gun. I'm sitting in my car. Somebody's mad at me. Maybe it is an ex. It doesn't make a difference. This person lunges at me when I have a gun out. What does that mean? The only way I can really interpret that is you're trying to take my gun so you can kill me. To me, that's a reasonable conclusion. I don't know what other conclusion I can really come to. And even if someone is close to me, let's say it was my brother doing this. My brother finna shoot me.
His life was being threatened. I say throw the gun out because his life was being threatened. She was committing a crime.
What? See, I don't even say throw the gun out because it ain't like the gun came out through some mysterious way. A situation happened and the gun was brought into it, but he did bring the gun into it. So my thing is like that's the only thing he technically quote unquote did wrong is that he brought a gun into a situation that didn't have proper paperwork on. Now I get that he was trying to defend himself with the gun,
Right.
but if he ain't smart enough to or I ain't gonna say he ain't smart enough. If he's not finna mount no case that he should have the gun anyway without the proper paperwork, to me, you got to accept that you brought a gun into the situation. Now, I understand why he brought a gun into the situation. What I do not understand is why is he getting a manslaughter charge? Because in the audience, it was said that y'all understand manslaughter. This don't sound like manslaughter to me. I understand somebody dies in manslaughter, but to me, it sounds like she killed herself.
I think they try to use intent in a very loose way because he threw the gun in the sewer and they recovered it. They're trying to use that as intent, saying that he intended to do it and that was his plan. And then they downgraded it from murder to manslaughter because of the nature of the crime. But if that was a man and he was being carjacked and he shot this man with that same gun and killed him, would you would you would you still be saying he should get a year for that gun?
No. I'm not saying he should get a year for the gun. What I'm saying is,
You understand it?
I understand it because it came up. It wasn't like the police just made it up or something like that. He was doing something and he brought the gun into the situation. So the fact that they're recognizing the gun he brought into the situation, I think it's reasonable. You know what I'm saying? I look at that as a reasonable thing. But he only got a year for it, so I thought that was cool. You know, because he wasn't doing nothing bogus. Obviously, I doubt that he could have only got a year for that gun. So I think the judge is probably being reasonable to a certain extent. But I don't care who's doing what. If I kill you with an illegal gun, yes, you can get me for having a gun in the first place because I opened myself up for that. So I'm saying that just on being an accountable or responsible person, I get that you can hold me accountable because I should have never had the gun. But to me, it ain't murder. And that's why I'm saying even for him, I just can't see it as murder. I don't even see it as manslaughter because manslaughter means you accidentally kill a person. Who did he accidentally kill?
She killed herself.
An aggressor. She was an aggressor toward him. And I'd say an aggravated assault, at least.
She was the aggressor. She saw the gun. She said verbatim to him, "I don't care about you having a gun." And then she lunged toward the gun to separate him from the gun, which I would say that would be in order to gain control of the gun to kill him. I ain't getting him nothing.
Well, I want to shout out to
Asman, seriously. Do we even have the right to protect ourselves anymore?
Well, to me,
we do
to protect ourselves.
To me,
only two picks.
This particular case brings up that very question. But I'm gonna read this real quick. Shout out to Serious Rye. He said, if I was his attorney, I would have got him free. Just charge him for the gun. And that's what I'm saying. I understand the gun charge because he brought the gun into the situation. And I accept that he brought the gun into the situation. I think it was cool that she only gave him a year because he only brought the gun into the situation because he was in a threatened position. Again, he was in a threatened position. So from what I know about manslaughter is when you don't mean to kill a person, but you did kill them. My question is, can I look at what happened between them and say he killed her? Because she went after a gun. Once someone goes after the gun, the only reasonable conclusion I can come up with is the trigger will be pulled. Either I'm going to pull the trigger or they going to pull the trigger. But that's what happens when you fight over a gun.
So the only thing he did wrong was not having the gun properly documented. Man, that's probation at best. You ain't do no pay. You ain't do some paperwork.
It shouldn't.
It was proper.
Yeah, you're right.
It was proper use of the gun in a proper situation. A year is way too much, bro.
Why you wait on your gun to come? Why you wait to get your license? Let's just assume he's waiting on to get his license. That's what I'm assuming.
I give him probation for not having the gun properly registered, only because Roger forcing my hand on that.
I'm not trying to force your hand, brother. I'm just trying to look at what's going on with the situation. And all I'm saying is I could accept that because if I'm in that position, I'm looking at what did I do wrong. What I did wrong is I brought a unregistered gun into the situation because I'm not supposed to have this unregistered gun. Outside of that, I don't see myself as doing anything wrong, which goes to what Pink Toes with Watermelon just said, is it legal for you to protect yourself as a black man? Because I'm looking at this case, I understand people gonna say, well, it's a tragic case because a woman died. And Afro Virgin, he even down there saying, but she's a woman, y'all. And I know that you halfway joking with that, but she is a woman. But her death, is it really my responsibility if I'm in his position? I did bring the gun into the situation. The gun was used to de-escalate the situation. Unfortunately, she attempted to escalate the situation. Now, I ain't gonna even say attempt. She escalated the situation because she started a fight with a man with a gun. And all I'm saying is, what am I supposed to do as a man with a gun if someone's willing to fight me for the gun?
Right. And and look, another reason why he don't get no time from me is because she is a woman. She should have known better than to confront a man in a physical altercation.
Yeah.
Like what woman? What woman don't know that? What woman don't know I can't whoop this man?
I'm gonna say shout out to Sirius Rye. He says her death wasn't premeditated. He didn't plan or instigate what transpired. And I'm saying Sirius Rye, exactly. All he did was shoot the gun. Now I can even understand. I can even understand tampering with evidence because he threw the gun in the sewer. I can even understand that. Okay, I can even totally accept. If I'm him, I can accept I threw the gun in the sewer, which I shouldn't have done. I can accept it should have been a properly registered gun. But come on, man, I ain't kill this lady. This lady attacked me. The gun goes off when she attacks me, and she dies. Ain't that what's supposed to happen? That's what I'm looking at. Ain't that what's supposed to happen? I didn't pull the gun out to shoot the gun. The gun never went off until she jumped at me. I didn't even accidentally pull the trigger. Now, if he accidentally pulled the trigger while she was confronting him, see, now I'm in my mind, I can start to accept, okay, this is a manslaughter. It wasn't intent, but she still got killed. She did. See, I can kind of accept something like that because manslaughter is about when you kill somebody, but you didn't mean to kill them, but you did kill them.
I object. She came to him. He was the aggressor. So that's why this case would be dismissed. I would dismiss it. Folks would have to be mad at me as a judge.
Don't get it twisted. It ain't like
and she remember the mom, his mom had called the police on her before for beating him up.
And that's a very good point. And I'm not saying I wouldn't want the brother to go free. I just understand the criminal system is against us. But if you're gonna charge me for what I did. That's the attitude I'm taking. Charge me for what I did. Technically, you got me on having an unregistered gun. Technically, you got me on tampering with evidence because I threw the gun in the sewer. Even though the man said he had a really good reason for throwing the gun in the sewer, I appreciate him saying that. Well, I threw it in the sewer because I ain't want to hurt myself or probably said anybody else either, whatever case is. I just want to make sure I don't hurt myself. That's all that was. Now I don't know if that was loud or true, but I got to take that as the gospel. That was just as a smart thing to say. Period.
He's still guilty though, Roger. No, we want you to keep the gun. We want you to hurt yourself. Keep the gun. Should have kept the gun. That's why you're getting this year. Should have kept the gun and did something to yourself.
I would have accepted that if I was on the jury. You know what? He was distraught and he threw the gun away because he was thinking about killing himself because he accidentally killed a woman that he loved. I not guilty.
My question still remains. When we see all these cases, when we see the Jonathan Majors and this guy getting assaulted by women and defending themselves and still getting punished, the question is, are we allowed to defend ourselves?
I have to say we should be defending ourselves, and people gonna have to learn to get over it. And I think we need to quote unquote do it more so people accept that it's gonna happen no matter what. But I think and that's why I'm bringing a highlight to a case like this, because that's what that man did. He got manslaughter for defending himself, if you ask me. That's literally what
I
I
should have
put in the
called him.
title. Man gets 8 years for being attacked by a woman. To me, that's why he got the time. He got a year for a gun that he had, but technically ain't supposed to have, but he never used that gun in the commission of a crime. The
I,
woman went after him, so that's why the gun even came up. He did not accidentally kill the woman. He never hit the trigger while she was standing there talking to him or yelling at him, or however you want to describe it. That gun only went off after she lunged at him. That is not an accidental killing. That is her creating a situation where she got herself shot.
I think he got 8 years for accepting a plea deal he should have never accepted. His sorry behind lawyer did not counsel him correctly. I think that judge, as sympathetic as she was to the situation, I really think she only wanted to give him that year for possession of the weapon. I think if they would have went to trial, I think she would have saw that that woman was the aggressor, that she trapped him. I think she would have saw that he defended himself, and I think that he would have gotten that year for the possession and for the tampering. And I think that would have been it. And she ran it concurrent. She could have ran it consecutive, and he could be doing 18 years. She ran it all concurrent. She wasn't trying to give him nothing, but he
No,
pled guilty.
no, no, because he got a year that he got to do that year. Then he got to do 7 years.
No,
That's what
no,
she
no,
said.
no, 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 no. She ran it all concurrent. The it was 8 to 10 for the manslaughter was 8 to 10, and it was 1 year for the gun. And she said concurrent.
Okay,
Concurrent
you know what?
means
Yeah,
they're
you know what?
stacked
You're
on
right.
top of each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you right. You right.
she minimized it as much as she possibly could,
I'm gonna
but
say
he
wanted to.
he pled guilty.
I'm gonna say
Uh,
wanted what much as she wanted to, because I believe if she's a good judge, he doesn't get manslaughter in the first place. That's what I'm saying. Based on the evidence presented to her, why is he getting a manslaughter anyway? I understand guilty on the gun because you had the gun without the paperwork. I'm gonna grant
right.
you that. Not even gonna make an argument about Constitution and paperwork. He ain't got the paperwork. Cool. I can accept the tampering because he threw the gun in the sewer. Even though I thought he had a very reasonable reason for putting it in the sewer, I can even accept, as much as I don't even want to, the tampering charge. But if she's a good judge, there is no manslaughter. I think she kind of let on why he got a manslaughter charge. She said the media took off with this story and the media did it wrong. Now, the young lady said that the story that the media reported was that the man chased her down to kill her. So I'm going to say that community probably had a little rage toward him in the first place because that's what they were being told. But that's the community. The community ain't the judge. If the judge really wanted to do right by him, why didn't she just say not guilty on the manslaughter charge? Now, I understand that would have broke the family's heart. I get all that. But at the end of the day, the woman attacked him. What's going to happen when you attack a person with a gun? That trigger getting pulled. Now, is it going to get pulled at the woman or the man in this particular situation? So I can't see her being a good judge and still hitting him at the manslaughter. Why'd she do that?
I still got to put some of this on him. He was afraid, and he's young. You can't be afraid that you kill somebody that attacked you. You got to go in the courtroom and be like, listen, I killed the person that was attacking me.
But this is the thing though. It ain't like he represented himself. You got to have your lawyer do his thing, or you got to handle the whole thing by yourself. So I think it's
That's
still
what
smart for him to get a lawyer, but Yeah, I agree with you. The lawyer
That,
did him bogus.
the lawyer did him bogus, bro. If you got the evidence, you see what's going on. I don't understand why your position isn't with the DA, even in negotiation. Man, she attacked this man, and it's obvious. She blocked him in. She cornered him. He didn't get out the car with a gun. She came to the gun. He was still seated. She came to the car. He was still seated with a gun in hand when she opened the door. That is clear self defense. She is attacking him. She is the aggressor. Man, that's one of the worst lawyers I've ever seen in my life.
Well, I'm saying seeing myself putting some responsibility on him because I am. He had a gun with no paperwork, and he threw it in the sewer. But to me, that's it. That's what
Yeah,
he did.
yeah. That's him. That's him being afraid, and that's what that is. That's young men not having fathers in their lives explaining to them what self defense is. Because you need to have a father in your life. Okay, son, you carrying a gun. Da da da. This what happened. Hey, listen. You shot somebody that was attacking you. You wait on the cops to get there with the weapon on the scene. And when they get there, the first thing you do, you put your hands up. Hey, the weapon is clean, it's empty. I shot her and I killed her. Why? She attacked me.
Yeah. Now, shout out to Black
Yeah,
Rule
these are
Strikes.
very black.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Roger.
Flo.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I got my 10-4 Koopy hat on again. Who got him the
Okay.
lawyer? Did he get the lawyer himself, or did her family get him the lawyer?
Whoever got the lawyer did. Whoever, it don't matter. Whoever that lawyer is garbage.
I'm pretty sure that was a
No. Maybe that was what was supposed to happen. Because what if he would have got a lawyer, and another lawyer say I'm the other lawyer, and I got him off? I would have hit them facts. I'd like, nope, no manslaughter. Do the jail time for the gun, and these charges are misfiled. I'd have been like, Judge, we need to do this all over again. The charge of stated crime thrown against my client are misfiled.
Let me ask you this. If this was a white man in his position, would he have gotten off?
It depends on who's attacking.
Yeah, that's debatable.
6 months house arrest. That's it. Go back to your life.
It
handle in civil court.
It depends on who's attacking him. If it's a white woman, he stands to be just as guilty as this Negro.
I think it's debatable, but this is the thing, which goes into what Black Hole was saying. He says, didn't he accept a plea? Now,
yes.
and Black Rule Strike. Now he did accept the plea, but it didn't seem to be the plea that he got. Now, Black Rule Strike says if he accepted a plea, he submitted to the conviction to whatever prison time comes with that. Now, and this is the thing, Black Rule. They did say he accepted a plea, but the plea deal that he accepted was not what he was given, because the plea deal that they had at first was an 18-year plea deal. So
no. What they charged him with, they was telling him he could have got 18 years for murder one. But the plea deal that they gave him, and this is what the judge was arguing, was like, you only gave him what he was guilty of in the first place. That's not a plea deal. You just got him to say guilty, because that's what he should have been charged with in the first place. If anything, was manslaughter, not murder one. That was the argument the judge was having.
Right, but that's what I was saying. So he didn't get the plea deal that he actually agreed to, because that's the plea deal that he took, the 18-year plea deal. He didn't get 18 years. He got 10 and a half years, and he out if he don't have no trouble in 8. So my thing is, if she's adjusting the deal, why she give him any time for the manslaughter when clearly she saw that he didn't slaughter nothing? Because Black Rule makes a point though. He did already enter a guilty plea, so I do think Black Rule is making a strong point right there. So, and Black is linked to the panel. I got you, sir. I got you. Give me one moment. So I
Yeah,
think he's making a
the,
point. Go
the
ahead. Go
judge
ahead.
was actually pointing out the inadequacy of his lawyer. His lawyer should have seen that. Oh, this is a bogus charge. Like this ain't gonna even stick.
Mm-hmm.
His his lawyer did him in, man. He had to have a public defender. Had to be.
Well, her family.
He said
And
her family. He said her family. No, he said
Mm-hmm.
her
Mm-hmm.
family because they don't
Her
like him
family
right
got the
now.
lawyer.
They don't like him right now. But since you did,
Hey,
you was the pallbearer for our mom, we're gonna help you out. We're gonna give you a lawyer to help you fight. Use this lawyer.
yep.
I get what you say.
Yep.
You said they was
Because
being
she probably
diabolical.
gave you the ghost gun anyway. Because we heard about somebody trying to attack you, and she probably the one who got the ghost gun and felt like it was her ghost gun. You ain't gonna shoot me with my own ghost gun.
hey,
I got it for you, nigga.
You saying they was being straight diabolical with him. But
Hold
let
Yep.
on,
Obi Strikers come up.
y'all in fantasy land here. The politics of this guy got the best possible scenario. A young black man kills a woman on the street and he only gets 8 years. He got the best possible deal he can get. The sociological and the political things around this, there's no way the system could have tolerated him not getting some prison time. There's no way. He got the best possible thing he could get. And I'm not even arguing the specifics of, the law per se. I'm not an attorney, but 8 years killing shooting a woman on the streets, you don't have the gun properly licensed. You try to dispose of the gun, the politics around that alone. He's got to do some prison time for that. He's got to do some real prison time for that.
Yeah, now I'm gonna say Black Rule. I definitely get that they just ain't gonna let him walk away. I totally get that. And which is why I'm saying I totally
Yeah.
see the fact that the gun was a ghost gun, and I totally understand. Okay, he don't got a proper. He don't have proper right to have a gun. Period. Then the gun is a ghost gun on top of that, plus the tampering issue because he threw it in the sewer. So I totally get not letting him just totally walk away. I'm not gonna even say only 8 years if he do what he's supposed to do ain't a bad deal. But I'm also gonna say getting hit with anything for manslaughter was bogus because at the end of the day, he didn't accidentally kill anybody. And manslaughter is supposed to be when you kill
Well,
somebody
did
without
he?
intention.
Oh, but hold on. Did he get involuntary manslaughter? I thought he got involuntary manslaughter. I mean, you can commit involuntary manslaughter.
nah, they gave him manslaughter. He agreed to manslaughter. That's why he got that much time.
No, but okay, but
Mhm.
was it involuntary manslaughter or voluntary manslaughter? Those are different.
I don't
Oh,
remember them mentioning involuntary. I don't remember
I
that
see.
term being used in that video.
I see. Does anybody know what city that happened in? I'll try to look it up.
No, I don't
I
remember
mean,
because
I would think if it's voluntary
Someone Ohio.
manslaughter, I would think if it's voluntary manslaughter, he gets more than 8 years.
I don't I'm not sitting right that he got anything for manslaughter because my thing is he didn't kill someone. If he just shot her while she was standing at the car, I can accept manslaughter. And I wouldn't have no argument against because
Yeah,
it was an
but
accident. He was
somebody is dead on the streets, man. So now, unless you're going to let him off,
no, I'm
I mean,
saying that
you got a broader issue of the society, and I don't know, it's just me. Everybody's getting kind of freewheeling with the shooting shit. I mean, Look, maybe if I knew she was armed, I might view it differently. But I don't know why you're shooting a woman on the streets, assuming she's unarmed.
Yeah,
I don't know
she
why you're
attacked him,
doing that.
Uru. She attacked him, Uru.
I don't know why you shooting a woman dead on the streets.
But she attacked him, Uru.
And a presumably unarmed woman on the streets. I don't know why you're doing that. I can think of a whole lot of ways to get out of doing that.
Ain't that what I said in the beginning? Bro, it's this generation. They can't fight. They're afraid of conflict, and a gun is the answer for everything, even when a woman is attacking.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I know we supposed to be feeling some kind of way about black women and all this kind of stuff these days, and I get all that. But man, it's a whole lot of shit supposed to happen before you shoot an unarmed woman dead on the streets.
I mean, that does look bad.
Where we going with this shit?
That does look bad. I'm not going to even deny that don't look bad. I'm just trying to view this from a scenario. If I put
look, if he was out of the car, she was trying to hit him with the car, and he shoots through the window or something like that, or if she has a weapon, maybe she has a bat or a knife or something like that. I get all of that. If that was it, I might view it differently. But if she wasn't armed, how is it getting to the point in which I got to shoot her?
Come on, bro. See, Uru said the same thing I said. I don't care. They both was wrong. Don't care.
I'm gonna say something about that, but I'm gonna hold fast because Sims then came up, so I'm gonna let him get his piece in. Then I'm gonna try to remember to come back and address that because well, go ahead, Sims. Do your thing.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Happy Monday to y'all. Peace to the
Same to you,
chat.
brother.
Peace to the panel. Uru, Black Reset, everybody. I'm definitely gonna have to disagree with Roger this time. Everything Uru said, I'm near with you, Uru. And the point that you brought up at the end, like, yeah, we supposed to be hating black women and all that. Nah, that's where this shit gets cloudy. That was an unarmed woman that he shot. That's manslaughter. He got lucky by getting manslaughter. He could have got third-degree murder. You dig what I'm saying? So he kind of got lucky. And to the fact of manslaughter, when Roger was saying manslaughter is by accident, no, involuntary manslaughter is by accident. That's the thing with black people and don't want to understand the English language. Keyword involuntary manslaughter. You dig it? Like that's like when people get into car accidents and somebody gets killed. You didn't do it on purpose, but you did it. And this is what you're gonna get now. Manslaughter is just a lower version of murder where you can kind of justify it, but you wasn't supposed to have a weapon, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's where he really got caught up in. He had a ghost gun, and then he left the scene of the crime. It's just a bad look for him that he got lucky in.
It definitely was a bad look.
They take that to trial. He's got a second or third degree murder conviction. He's in there a minimum 15, 20 years.
Easy.
He got the best possible situation he could get here.
All right. Sons of the Gynocracy. My brother. Is it anything you want to chime in right now? Because you was up earlier, but anything you want to chime in right now?
Yeah, I had to change my phone. I had to go on my second phone because my first phone be having problems with StreamYard. So the brother, thank you for your service. That's all I have to say right now.
Okay.
All right. So his name is Aaron Jarvis, I believe. And it's in Maryland. And I'm trying to look to see if it was involuntary or voluntary manslaughter. I have an answer for you in a minute.
No, that's mandatory. That's regular manslaughter. It's not like they were wrestling for a gun or anything. He shot somebody who came up to his door.
No. She lunged into the car.
Yeah, well, she lunged into his car. And then you got to remember, too, the gun laws in certain states are different in every other place. You know what I mean? So, like, You have some places have a retreat where you have to attempt to retreat from the situation before you can get the self-defense.
Yeah, but in that particular scenario, he didn't even have a way to retreat because he was blocked in.
No,
And
he could have crawled over the passenger side and jumped out that
No, he
motherfucker.
could have just opened the and just got out of the vehicle.
Well, my thing is he wasn't making the best decisions, because if he told the people in AutoZone to call the police, he should have never went back to that car. That's why I think he messed up. Like, for real, for real. But I'm gonna say my thing is this: the gun did not go off with her standing there. If that happens, then I see it as on him. She started fighting a person with a gun. Once you start fighting a person with a gun, the gun is going to get shot. So my thing is he responsible for the fact that she created a situation where she was going to get shot? I don't think he did. That's why I think the manslaughter is too much.
The gun shouldn't have been in his hand.
Which is why I'm not even saying anything about the fact that he got charged for having the gun in the first place.
If the gun is in his hand, how is it not at minimum an involuntary manslaughter?
Because all I'm saying is, if you attack a person with a gun in their hand, you are creating a situation where the gun is going to be shot.
Agreed.
Okay,
and that's what she did.
Well, but that don't absolve him of the responsibility of not killing someone.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you got the gun in your hand. That don't mean that it licensed you to kill someone.
I got it. It's Darren Hobley, and the girl's name was Riley Jones, and he pled guilty to involuntary manslaughter. So we have it.
Exactly.
Appreciate that, brother. Yep.
That was the best case. That was the best case scenario for him in that situation. He would not have gotten away with this without a minimum of an involuntary manslaughter. Yeah. You either take that deal, or you go to trial, and you're gonna get convicted. You're gonna get convicted.
Now,
and you're doing more than 8 years.
Well, I'm saying in our climate, no, I didn't really think he could get a better deal than this. But the reason I still decided to go with this particular situation was because I'm looking at this from the perspective of, what if it's me? This ain't about, just something with a black woman or holding her accountable. I'm thinking about, what if this is me? If I did this, how should I want to be treated? Yeah, you got me for having a gun without proper paperwork. Yeah, you got me for tampering with evidence. I did that. I accept what come with it. At the end of the day, I didn't shoot this chick. This chick attacked me and made the gun go off. And she got killed. That's her fault. That's how I'm looking at this. If it's me, this is her fault. I had no intentions of shooting her at all.
And you don't have a background, Roger. You're 22 and she's 20
but society is going to view that very differently, and rightly so. It's okay for you to have that defense to defend yourself, but society's got to view that very differently. Because now I got 20 and 22-year-olds arguing and shooting each other in the streets and claiming they're innocent. That's what I'm opening up.
Well,
so as society, I cannot take your personal position on this issue, Roger. I can't. That's dangerous.
Yeah. From society's point of view, there is no scenario that you brandish a weapon without intent to use it. Like that, it'll never be seen that way.
All right. Well, we got Gilgamy who stepped up. So Gilgamy, you got it, my brother.
First, thank you, Roger, for having me on the panel. Greetings to everyone on the panel. Greetings to everyone in the chat. I was listening to the video in the link, and at a certain moment, the man explains, and the judge doesn't seem to contradict him, that the woman was at first arguing with the man after blocking his car at the place. She left the car to go at her own car. Then she came back to the car of the man, and she opened the door and lunged inside the car, and then it's afterward that there was a gunshot. And the man explained that the woman was staring at the gun, staring at him, talking, staring at the gun, and then she lunged after opening the door. She lunged at the gun. If someone tried to launch at the gun that you have inside your car after opening the door, should not one expect that the individual, the woman, is intending to harm the man in the car, especially since he explained that he was in the car on the seat and he had his belt seat on, so he didn't have much wiggle room to move around. So if they wrestled inside the car after she tried to reach for the gun, it's likely that after he got the gun, on interaction in duress, he pressed the charge of the gun and then she got wounded. Would it not be an act of self-defense in such a way? If, for example, a man was to attempt to reach the gun of a police officer, and the police officer respond by shooting the man after the altercation, would not the jury naturally take the side of the police officer and say it was in self-defense that the individual was shot after attempting to reach for the gun?
I think that's a very, very important thing to bring up.
That's a very tough comparison. Well, no, that I'm not sure of the validity of that comparison, because you're putting him in the position of a police officer who has a very different responsibility, and a police officer is licensed to brandish a gun and to possibly commit deadly force. They're licensed to do that. He isn't in any way licensed or certified to do any of that. He wasn't even duly authorized to even have possession of that gun.
Well, besides the authorization of the gun, what would be the purpose of someone entering your car and reach for your gun? I mean, in the context of the United States and your Second Amendment, why would someone else try to reach your gun?
The problem, that's not the problem. The problem is he hid the gun after the fact, which implies some sort of guilt.
But the judge literally said she believed the man was just in shock. The judge literally said that. He did what he did because she the one ruled over the case.
I guess good for him the judge believed that. But unless the judge is Charles Xavier, how does the judge possibly know that?
The reason why I'm saying it didn't matter what the judge believes is because it didn't go to trial. See, if it went to trial, then it matters what the judge believes. The only thing that it matters for him is in the sentencing process. But if he had not admitted guilt, then that would have been in his favor. It's implied that he's hiding something. Obviously, he's hiding something. And I'm not saying that he was guilty of anything, but the only thing that could have made this situation better.
Yeah, since we're interpreting things and doing mental telepathy, I could just easily interpret. Look, this guy went and got a street gun, expecting to possibly kill somebody, and he went and got a street gun specifically for that purpose. I can just as easily draw that conclusion, and then I can add to that the fact that he tossed the gun after he did that.
Yep. Which is implied guilt.
We're doing suppositions about, since we're making suppositions about his mental state and his intent.
No, what I'm saying is, like, these are the type of things that the prosecution is gonna say to his lawyer when giving him this freaking plea deal. I'm not, if it's me, I don't think he did nothing wrong. If it's me judging it, but what I'm telling you is, in the eyes of the law, if you ain't doing nothing wrong, why you hiding? Why you lying? That's how they look at it.
Now I'm gonna say
he wants to get back from a robbery.
Now that now
If somebody
I
was,
guess
if somebody's robbing you, if it was a man and he's robbing you and you shoot him, you don't hide the gun. Why? Because you know you ain't do nothing wrong.
all right, well, I'm gonna
But
say
those guns,
some,
he want to throw it
some
away. He probably going to criminally blast this dude to hell, and then get rid of the gun.
well, I think
That's
black
the reason
men
I would have one.
I think black men consider how America is toward them once they shoot a gun. I think that really does come across their mind. But let me read this by Afro Mercer. He says, from my understanding, she followed him previously, harassed him. She followed him in an unfamiliar car. Her friend was there. Got boxed in. He opens the door. She lunged in. And I'm saying all that matters at the end of the day. She has a track record.
Correction.
She go ahead. What's the correction?
The correction. The judge herself said she looked at the video and the woman opened the door, not the man. The judge herself said, I looked at the video, the woman opens the door and gets in. That's why
Yep.
I'm asking, what is supposed to be your defense in such a situation? In your context of United States with your Second Amendment, someone you're in your car, you have a gun in your car, someone looks at your car, she at your gun, she opens the door. She opens the door, she tries to get inside, you wrestle,
Right.
and someone gets shot. I mean, I'm in Canada and I find the situation strange.
Yeah. He's still fine until he hides the gun. That's where the
Yeah,
problem comes in.
Well,
yeah,
I
that's the
mean,
problem.
If
That's the
he
problem, but for the rest.
if he's standing there when the police comes and says, "Hey, I got a gun. It's in the vehicle. I've already unloaded it. I shot her. She's dead. She's right there. She attacked me. I killed her." I think he's fine.
no, because you still got the dead woman though. He's not gonna get off. The woman's still dead in that scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gonna do that year for having a unregistered gun.
Wait, were there any other weapons found on the scene of the crime?
Not that
No.
was mentioned in the video.
So you basically shot an unarmed person.
He shot an
Yeah,
unarmed
that
person that was trying to take his gun from him.
yeah that was my grievance. That was my grievance in the beginning. Was like, why are you shooting a woman? Like you
Okay.
should have just fought her.
And you could have leg shot her, toe shot.
I said that too.
But
I said that he shouldn't have shot it at
That's
all. He
not
shouldn't
right.
even
well,
And
brandish
hold
then
the
on.
weapon.
Well, hold on. He literally said he wasn't trying to shoot her at all. It's only because she tried to take his gun that the gun even got used. He wasn't trying to shoot her at
look at
all.
him. Check
Yeah,
out
but
his
that's the
stature in
point.
the court. He kind of skinny, bro. And then look at her stature. She a big girl. So if you at seat level, the only thing you can struggle with is arms and waist. And them big girls, boy, they them chicken toting, Taco
Man.
Bell eating, whole
And
chicken
all
eating
that.
girls, they got some strength to them.
In all actuality, he basically doing 8 years because he didn't know how to leave a chick alone and get away from her from the
Now,
backseat.
hold on. Now,
He did. She
that's
came
what
after
started
him.
the problem.
He was supposed to
That's what the
spend.
problem
They
was.
said the previous night he ended things. It was hundreds of messages sent between them, and he said at the end of all this, we done. And she obviously took that as we done for real this time.
Roger,
So
you get kicked out your mama house because of a chick. That's a done deal. I ain't got to go live with my father, then come back and mess with her again.
but the thing is, he separated from her, and she thought it was final. They said they had an
Sounds
on
like
again,
them
off again
bills.
relationship, but this time it was in her mind. This breakup was the final breakup, and
Yeah,
because this breakup was the final breakup, she chased him down.
no, I agree with you, but it took him too long. That's why he should have been did that. Off and on, off and on. No, B. Like I said, once it got to the volatile moment of your mom's, it's like, yo, y'all doing too much. You're gonna have to go live with your father. Pops was supposed to break that down to you while you was at his crib, like, yo, B, when you go back living with your mother, I don't even want to hear about you and this girl dealing with each other. And obviously he didn't do that because he was dealing with her again when he got home, and then it escalated into what's going on right now that he's in trouble for.
What
So, like Roger always says, sometimes you got to leave a female alone. Not leave her alone. I mean, like break up with her and block numbers, everything, restraining order, etc.
this is one of the reasons right now then I don't really even like letting a woman know where I live. And I be serious about that. I've said it before, but I don't really even like letting a woman know where I live.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you end it, they don't want nigga, who was you to end the relationship with me? And if they got too much information, they can cause problems. And I see it happening way too many times. Obviously, she knew he was going to get that battery because how could she get behind him and pursue him? Because he did not recognize whatever car she was in. So yes, it was something up to that because they did mention that he dipped through the gas station and the other car dipped through the gas station too. So that's not even him recognizing who's behind him. So I totally get why he had the gun. He didn't know who it was. When she get out the car to confront him, okay, he now knows who it is, but the gun is already out at that point.
Yeah, I can agree with you with that picture right there. Yeah, like I got a car following me. I don't know who this is. Let me get my thing out just in case it's going to be a little bit realer than it should be. But I definitely agree with you on that. Yeah, so it probably should have been.
I actually thought it wasn't understood to be that situation because that's exactly why I found it to be difficult how it would not be presented as a case of self defense. And has it been mentioned how many gunshots there were?
No, I don't believe they said that.
But
I'll
because
find out.
if it was multiple, they would have been presented as intention to harm. If it was only one shot, it would be example. Have you, for those who have sisters or siblings, have you ever wrestled for the remote control for the TV?
Yeah,
Yes.
somebody get their lip bust.
Exactly. If you're wrestling for the gun, is it not likely that someone's going to pull the trigger, and someone's going to get shot? Especially if you're sitting and you have your seat belt on. Don't have enough movement available for yourself, but the assailant has a lot of movement over you, and she's over you when both of you are wrestling over the gun. It's not likely that someone's going to pull the trigger when both of your hands are on the weapon.
And she weigh a good
Absolutely.
350.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
Yeah, I
once
told
two
you
people are
she
fighting over the
probably
gun,
thought it was chicken fried steak. Wrestling.
And that would be why there would be only one gunshot and not multiple.
well, yeah, I do believe once two people fight over a gun, somebody's getting shot.
There was one single gunshot.
Yeah, probably hit her right in the
But if,
chest.
what if he never
That's
pulled the
my
trigger
point.
in the first place?
Say it
I
again.
don't even think he did. I think she
What if?
attacked him and the gun went off.
This what I'm trying to tell you. I put the blame on the lawyer. The
What if she
lawyer
pulled
should
the
have been,
trigger?
yeah, the lawyer should have been like, she pulled the trigger.
Well, no, I'm gonna say. I mean, I'm not saying the lawyer shouldn't have said that. That's a good point. What I'm saying is, to me, based on what we do know, for me, it's reasonable to believe that he had the gun, but the trigger was pulled because number one, a car that he did not recognize was the car that boxed him in the first place. So he had a gun ready. The safety is off. He's talking to her. She doesn't back down. She lunges at him. It don't take that much to pull a trigger. So the trigger gets pulled while it's in his hand. I do believe that happened. She's now dead. Granted, that's not a good look.
Yeah, I don't
Now,
want you to be my lawyer.
but if it's
I want,
me, you know what I'm saying? If it's me, I did bring a gun that should not have been there, and I accept that. I hid a
I
gun
don't.
that I should not have hid. I accept that.
In
That's
this
it, man.
situation, the political implications of this, the societal implications of it, he got the best possible deal he could get here.
Yeah, definitely.
This guy was not walking
Ain't no
away from
air.
this.
Ain't no
Okay?
air. It's
Y'all
hot.
can try to
All heat.
create all
All heat.
kinds of fantasy. I'm saying y'all can create all kinds of lawyering fantasies about this. This guy was not walking away from this free and clear. That was not going to happen.
Nope.
And so blaming the attorney, I mean, the attorney got him 8 years for killing somebody.
That's a good job, if you ask me.
I mean, if this goes to a murder trial, like second or third degree murder trial, he walking away with 15 minimum.
Listen, I do know of a man personally in Florida that only got 1 year for killing somebody.
That's Florida though. Their gun laws are totally different. You don't even you feel offended. You could shoot a nigga in Florida.
Yeah, he was defending his mother and shot a guy in the back, and the guy died. And and uh and he got 1 year. I can't remember what the charges were,
Hey,
but I can find out.
a kid in Chicago didn't get nothing.
His mama.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
Same
yeah, I
thing.
Right.
heard. There you
He
go.
shot
At the
somebody back with
restaurant.
his mama.
Yeah.
But shout out to Family Business. He said, "Where is his father? Is his father a part of this? What's his
There
role if he
wasn't.
is? I mean, the dude is beyond 18 years old. Why are we even asking?"
There were no fathers in that courtroom at all.
No, no. What I'm saying though is, and I mean this as a serious thing. The man over 18, what difference does it make at this point? At this point, the man made decisions. The man going down for decisions he's made. I think he's going down more than what he should be going down. But I do understand what Black Hole was saying from a societal perspective, how this is going to look. I think, and I do believe he got that kind of time too, because the media put it out there that he chased that woman down. So
Yeah,
people
that
was
too.
already against this dude.
Yeah, that too. Now, if he would have did what
Yep.
he was supposed to do and got a restraining order and not been messing with her no more, that would have been self
Yeah.
defense because she ain't even supposed to be around him.
Yeah.
So you always gotta cover your CYA, cover your ass, and us as black men, we gotta really do a better job of covering our ass, especially when it comes to women. Like I said, his father was supposed to put him on game. Like, yo, when you get back to your mother house, I don't want to hear about you and her dealing with each other no more. And that was probably a year before this even happened. Because remember, he went back home with his moms, and they was dealing with her again after. So it's like, bro, come on.
Now,
But to his defense, he young, dumb, and full of cum.
He
With a
and
gun.
guess what? He gonna be all of that in prison too.
Oh,
Mhm.
well, I'm gonna wish
his
him good
name gonna
luck.
be Gummy.
Hopefully, he won't be all of that. I'm gonna wish him good luck. you but I am gonna say, look, this is where I've said things in the past that I know certain people they ain't gonna necessarily agree with. This is where you got, as a man, I got to get out of the car, and if I gotta punch this lady out, I gotta punch this lady out. Because now this is the reality. If I punch this lady out, it's gonna be something, but is it gonna be as bad as this?
He would have went to jail for domestic violence.
At the end of the day, I said it was over. She got a clear message that it was over. She boxed me in when I'm at AutoZone trying to buy a battery. I'm minding my legal business. She traps me, bro. I got to get out, so I had to punch out.
You going to jail for domestic violence.
No,
There is no
Did
scenario
she
that you don't do
trap
jail
him?
time. Yes.
Trap his car when he initially when he was out of the car?
No, he never got out of the car before the gunshot.
He
no,
never
no,
left.
He
He
never
never
got
left.
out of the car. Okay.
no, I'm
Exactly.
not sure about that. I'm not sure about that because they said he warned the people at AutoZone. How did he warn them if he never got out?
It was
He
after. It
shot
was after.
Right.
He shot
he
the woman
shot
first.
her and then went inside and told them to call the police because he was
Exactly.
hysterical.
Yeah.
Mm.
Roger, if they ever send you jury duty papers for my case, do not bring your ass in, please. Stay your ass at
Brother,
home.
I'm getting you out. Don't even worry about it. I'm getting you out. Now, the unfortunate part for me, because like I said, I had to deal with a family emergency. I didn't get to see this as much as I really wanted to, and didn't really get to look at it how I wanted to. But then y'all know, in show business, they say, and when it's showtime, it's showtime. So it just is what it is on that note. But I'm going to also say, yeah, I would do my best to get him cleared. I know this is a tough situation. So my thing is about the best thing he could have did. Now y'all did offer something which I can't disagree with. He should have tried to get out the car on the other side. Now my thing is, now once he do that, she's just gonna go to the other side. Then I punch out. because she's already made it clear that I can't get out on either side as far as she is concerned. So now I'm going to punch her.
Yeah.
Now you're
And
trying to put me in the
you do
kidnap position.
you do 60 days for domestic violence at that point.
Yeah, and then to your defense, that looks even better. You pull up somewhere, somebody pull up behind you, jump out their car, jump in your car, you jump out your car, they come around the car to you, and you knock them out. Like, come on, what more do you want from me? That was self-defense. I don't even think he would get a domestic violence charge. That would have just been two people fighting in the parking lot. Somebody got their eye bust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, the fact that the car was, if the vehicle was blocked in, then yeah, that would likely clear him of any domestic issue because he essentially was in an impossible situation where he was forced to physically respond. But it's one thing to be forced to respond. It's another thing when somebody's dead. When somebody's dead, the society has to make a statement not only about that event, but possible similar other events in the danger then of young people in Maryland think they can kill each other over domestic incidents. That's why he's got to do time.
I mean, I do see that as a point. Now, if that point is personally happening to me, I ain't cool with it. I see the point from a societal standpoint, but I'm also looking at what did I actually do wrong. And if I'm in his position, I brought a gun I shouldn't have brought. You know what I'm saying? I hid a gun I shouldn't have hid. I don't see myself doing anything else.
Now, if she had a weapon, or if, as somebody alluded, I think it was Shark said, if he had a restraining order, then that changes my view of that, because then you made this a formal threat. You presented this to a court, and you presented her as a formal threat to you.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go for it too. I'm waiting. It's okay.
I'm just gonna say real quick. He may have been on his way to do that, but unfortunately, he had to get his battery changed first.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And look, I feel sorry. I feel sorry for him. It just seems like some young people making very bad decisions. But the problem is, he gets to correct his decisions. She don't get to correct her bad decisions. Her story is over with, and it's over with over some nonsense.
To go following what Sir Uru said,
I don't care.
if she was carrying a weapon, there's not proof that she was attempting to arm herself to carry a weapon by taking the man's weapon. Is it not somewhat equivalent in a certain way? Especially since she basically trespassed within the vehicle of the man. She trespassed within the vehicle of the man. She attempted to harm to hold a weapon that belonged to the other one, and during the altercation, she ended up getting shot. That's basically, isn't that somewhat almost equivalent to trying to get a weapon somewhere else and going to the man? Because essentially the weapon was found already on the place of the death of the quote unquote second victim. I call her the second victim. In other words, she found the weapon within the vehicle of the man. She attempted to use the weapon against the man during the exchange.
So now are you saying she found the weapon in the car and tried to shoot him?
No.
Is that supposedly what happened?
The weapon was inside the car of the man. That's what was said. It was also confirmed by by the judge that the weapon was already inside of the car. She did not have a weapon. He had a weapon that was inside the car. She opens the door. She plunges inside. There's altercation.
What was the state? What was the state of the gun before she opened the door to his vehicle? Did he have the gun in his hand?
Yes.
either it was visible, but it was at
I
least
mean, if
visible
he
because
had the
the man
gun
said,
in his hand,
yeah.
I'm just saying, if he had the gun in his hand, he created the scenario in which someone could potentially get shot. Now,
Yes.
if the
Yeah,
gun was in his glove compartment and she got the gun out of the glove compartment and they started wrestling over it, very different scenario.
he admitted
But
to
he
having the
created
gun.
the deadly scenario when he brandished the gun in his hand.
But one could also argue that since he was being followed since a long time, and he tried to park the vehicle, and that the vehicle was being blocked by the woman inside the vehicle, he had to remove the gun from the glove compartment in case something dangerous was to happen. When he noticed that the person getting out of the second vehicle was actually his ex-girlfriend, that's when he managed to,
So when you thought
discuss.
you were in danger, did you attempt to alert law enforcement? Because you're telling
No,
me he felt like he was in danger.
Yep.
He called law enforcement afterward, actually, after the gunshot. At first, there was a discussion,
that's
I
too
apparently,
mean,
late.
what you
after
can
it
be
was
seen on
That's too
over.
late.
cameras.
After it was over.
That's too late. That's too late.
Yeah. Now, my thing is, can you? I mean, you can make an argument that someone can get a call in, which I'm gonna say Black was right. This probably would have helped him at least maybe a little bit had he called law enforcement. Because what I'm thinking is the average person who's think they're being followed gonna be able to make a phone call like that to law enforcement while trying to escape somebody.
Yeah, you can. You could have
This is
drove to
a
the police station.
no. This is a clear case of
I mean, I
somebody.
got a one button feature on my phone to call 911.
This,
I'm
this is
sure
a
most
this
of
is
us
a
do.
this is a clear case of us as black people living in defiance of the law,
Exactly.
not knowing the law, that F the police attitude and all this other kinds of stuff. So we make poor choices trying to take care of these situations our way, and we suffer for it.
No, I think that's an oversimplification because
Right.
I don't even think that's what happened in this scenario. It was a guy who was being chased down by a car and he felt threatened by that car. So he pulled out his gun to address the threat of the car. I don't think this had anything to do with the F the police.
No, it
The
does because
man
he could have called the
simply
police, Roger. He could have literally called the police.
I'm not saying he couldn't have. At the end of the day, people don't make the best choices. And I said earlier, he didn't make the best choices anyway, because I would have got out that car from Jump Street. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna create some kind of separation, especially if you back me in. You know what I'm saying? True be, and if it was me, I might have shot that gun when the door first opened. If I don't see who that is, and you done parked in behind me like that, I'm blasting off when you opening the door. I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting to die. I'd much rather say I'm sorry than to be the dead person. So I don't even think I'm waiting that long. You open that door, you probably getting blasted, and that's real talk. You know what I'm saying? So I might be in worse trouble than he got into. But I am just trying to acknowledge that at the end of the day, you have to be able to reasonably make an attempt to protect yourself. That's why I think the manslaughter just went too far. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be able to get a reasonable attempt to protect himself. He wasn't making the best decision. And my
So
thing
you're
is,
saying that you're saying he should not have all been able to he should not be made at all to be punished for that woman being dead. That's what you're saying.
yeah, I'm saying, yeah, the manslaughter
I mean,
is
that's
too
what
much.
you're saying.
Yeah, the manslaughter I think is
Well,
too far.
what should he get? What should he get for that woman being dead?
Nothing.
I don't think he should get anything for her being dead because she attacked him and made the
Oh,
gun
okay.
go off.
Then we fundamentally disagree.
Well, I mean,
That woman is dead, man. An unarmed, no, this is an unarmed woman who is dead from a gunshot wound.
and I think that's a terrible tragedy. But sometimes you create your own tragedies. You know, and I think that's what she did to herself. She put herself in a situation that she couldn't live through. That's what I literally think she did. I don't think she was being smart at all. Once she saw that gun, she should have backed off. Instead, she
You
got
shouldn't have
more
jumped in the
aggressive.
car.
Yeah, she got more aggressive. She had a chance to walk away from this thing. And my thing is, when there's a window to walk away, sometimes it's just better to take that window. And
If
some people don't
your
want to do that.
rule goes down, you're gonna have a lot of young people killing each other in a similar fashion.
Like, you can probably
If
attest
you
to
take
this.
that same
Remember our
scenario,
parents?
if you take that same scenario and you pick any Friday night or Saturday night, and you take the rules off that way, you're gonna have folks flashing guns at each other, threatening each other over domestic stuff. And some of them people gonna end up getting killed. Figuring
Well,
I do that 2 years or whatever for the gun charge.
Well, I don't think that's even a reasonable comparison because he didn't know who was following him. It was just a car. He don't know that that's a domestic issue. It's only a domestic issue because he happens to know the person who act like they were trying to kill him.
Didn't know the woman.
Sir.
So you saying he didn't know the woman?
That ain't gonna fly, sir. That ain't gonna fly.
He didn't know that was her.
I let you get away.
Roger,
I let you get away. I let you get away with that 3 times. You said that, bro. As soon as she gets out that car, talking loud and crazy, he knows exactly who that is.
I'm not saying he don't at that point. I'm not saying he don't at that point. At that point, he found out who it was, and at the end of the day, she should have backed off. And I'm not saying he shouldn't have made a different move because I admit the man didn't make the best decisions at the end of the day.
No. We're not talking about that. You're giving him an excuse that he doesn't have is what we're talking
No, I'm
about
not
right
trying
now.
to give that man no excuse. I'm
Yes,
saying
you saying he didn't know who she was. Let's just say she
I'm
was in
talking
somebody
about
else's
the
car,
vehicle
not
that
her
was
own.
following him. He did not
Right.
know who that was.
He didn't know. Let's just say he didn't know the vehicle. He didn't recognize the vehicle. Somehow his tent was so dark he couldn't see in the rearview
Look,
mirror who that
if
was that was
I was
driving the
riding
vehicle.
around and I'm so afraid of being tailed, but I'm gonna stop at fucking AutoZone. That's what I'm gonna do.
And park in a parking space.
The
That's
man
what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
The man
No,
dipped to the gas station to elude the car, which shows that he did not know who it was.
Okay, hold on. Let's just say all of that is true, right? This is a woman that you broke up with. She's upset about it, right? When she does trap you and you don't know who she is, when she gets out the car, is she sneaking up to the car? No,
she walked
she
in.
talking.
I mean,
She
I'm still
talking
trying to
trash.
figure out the part where I'm driving around and I got a tail and I'm fucking stopping at AutoZone.
Man, if you ever had a
That's
woman
what
in
I'm
a
doing.
car, if you ever
Exactly.
had a woman in a car following you because you slept with her and you ain't giving her no more pennies, you know exactly who that is.
Hey, Roger. This happened to me in Florida many,
Come
many
on.
years ago. Many years ago, she was driving around curves. She running red lights behind me. I had an SUV, so I went over like a gas station curve with a little built up, and she had her car. She couldn't get over it. She messed up her car, and I took off. But in that situation, if she would have trapped me, I would have just sat there. Let her destroy my
Now,
car. I can
did you
call the
know
police. Go
did
ahead.
you know it was a woman or
Oh
was
yeah,
it
it was.
like
I was living with the
Big
girl.
Day and them chasing you on a drug deal that went wrong? Which
Oh no,
one?
it was her. It was
Which
her.
one was
It was
it?
my ex that I stopped giving her some good loving. She was after
Yeah.
me.
No, but hold on. I figured you would have thought it was a big worm or somebody trying to get his money, right?
Oh no. That wasn't no situation like that. I knew who it was. I knew who was coming after me.
No, I
I
see
could
what
see her
Black Rule
car.
doing. I see what Black Rule doing. I do see it, y'all. I do see it. Okay. And
I mean, come on, man.
I'm gonna read this super chat. You know what I'm saying? Let me get a little respect around here. Shout out to Mr. Bentley. He says, when danger is within seconds, the police are minutes away. And I think that's a, a very accurate super chat, and I do agree
Yeah.
with that one wholeheartedly. Because I ain't never seen the police save any black man anywhere. That's just me. I ain't seen it happen. I ain't saying it ain't never happened, but I sure ain't heard the story about it. Now,
Yeah, I ain't heard the story where if you are in trouble, you make sure you stop at AutoZone. That part I ain't heard either.
So let me get this right. You ride around the neighborhood. Don't know who chasing you. You drive through a gas station because you just want to check to make sure that this car is following you. Yep, they following me. So your next move is to pull up the AutoZone and pause
now
because you
you
don't
know
know
what?
who this is.
I believe young people, especially, make even more foolish decisions than sometimes old people, because older people make foolish decisions sometimes too. So I think this was him making a foolish decision that because he had a gun, he
Okay,
think
cool.
no, it isn't. It's because he had a gun, he automatically thinks he can handle it. He don't
Okay,
know what the
cool.
Right.
situation, but he
I
believes he
think
can handle it.
I think he knew exactly.
Hold.
I think he knew exactly who that
Now,
was chasing up
now,
behind him.
now, let
I'm
Roger go down
we
this. Let Roger go down this fallacious hole that he's trying to go down. So he gets blocked in. The car's to the rear, right? So the car's to the rear. Now, at what point in broad daylight did she get out the car and he not recognize her? Was it the first time she came to the car, or when she went back to her car and came back and then got shot? He still ain't know who she was.
No, wait a minute. I didn't. They said she went to the car twice because I didn't catch that part. Now,
Yes.
yes, went to car twice.
oh, he should.
So she
Wait,
knew
see.
he had it. She had to have known he had the gun. So she probably would go get her phone to call somebody up here to get him.
So
I mean, she going to
listen,
get
man,
her gun. That's how I'm gonna take. That's she going to get her gun.
Roger, this is what we need you to do. We need you to come down off your own panel and go do your homework on this video here and
No,
come back. Cause you gonna get this man life in prison if you his lawyer,
no, because I
bro.
would have. Like I
Yeah.
said, I probably would
That
have just
that's
knocked the fire out of her.
Bro, I listen. I told you when I first came up. I do not care. It was so many mistakes made by both parties. I just do not care.
I remember Red Fox and Harlem Nights. You fucking with a heavyweight. That's what he probably was thinking.
Shout out to Afro Merch. He say AutoZone, the new police station. Now I'm gonna
uh,
say, see, that would have been a better move for him to make, but this is where you do have to learn certain lessons before you get into these situations. Which is why I say once you're 18 years old, you need to know everything you need to know for the rest of your life, because life don't give you second chances all the time. And this is one of these situations where now he got these at least 8 years he got to do if everything go right. So he's probably gonna end up doing the 10.5 years, because how's he gonna be 8 years in prison, everything go right? It's probably not going to happen. So he's probably about to do 10.5 years, realistically, you know? So now, him not understanding what that situation was, unfortunately, now he paying at least 8 years of his life because he didn't have a understanding of that situation. My thing is, the woman chasing me down, I'm going to get out the car because I'm a man, she's a woman. When she tries to make that impossible for me, then we just got to get physical. I already told her we broke up. We got all this in text messages. At the end of the day, she don't have no reason to be doing anything with me at this point. This is not a domestic. This is her assaulting me. This is her harassing me. This is her doing criminal activity toward me. We are not together. It is what it
right.
is.
Roger, when you
So
get with these toxic women, you have to just leave them alone. You have to go run away. Get away from them
what
because they have going to cause you nothing but trouble. You got to get away
They
from them.
think
I
they
do
think
agree
this
with
is
that.
normal. They
I
think this
do.
is normal.
And you call the police, even if the police don't come, even if the police are late or the police don't come, you have
There's
the
a record.
record of the 911 call. You can't get rid of that. That's a public document, publicly
And which
accessible by everybody. So at the very
which he did
least,
have
you
that.
have on record somewhere I was okay. Did that
He
happen
did have
before or
that.
after the
Yeah,
shooting?
before the shooting, he did have that, and he didn't press charges. They came when to press charges, wanted to take her, and he said no.
No, I'm
You talking
talking
about a
about
different
when
incident?
the yeah, I'm talking about as that incident was going down
Oh
that
no, I'm talking
resulted
about
in the shooting.
yeah. Before he had the situation where he could have had her on record, could have had her charged for attacking him, but he let that go.
What I'm saying that was part of his past mistakes. Because at the end of the day, they said they went to counseling together. Man, this is not my wife. If I gotta go to counseling with you, you gone.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. You're a
If this
young
is my
man. You
Yeah.
go to
wife,
counseling with this
okay,
woman? Oh,
cool.
come on now. You too young to be trying to
I,
do
I
that. I
rem-
can see if you've been married for some
no,
years, but nah.
now I remember too. They mentioned they brought up the fact that he had interest in going into the military, so she was probably thinking about that military check and how she go live a military life, and she was burning all the
Yeah,
ashes, and she wasn't trying to get
yeah,
it up.
yeah.
Well, this is why I say, as men, we got to understand when things are happening, and you got to understand a moment that can affect your future. I mean, real talk, because I do want men to really accept this. If that ain't your wife, ain't no point in counseling. Why be counseling if you ain't married to this person? Now I can understand some premarital counseling because y'all
Premarital.
make a decision y'all about to get married. But if I got to go to counseling to be with you, how about I just go be with somebody else?
I
Yeah,
I have some advice for young men out there. Two things. This aversion to authority, you got to put that aside. And two, in similar situations as this that you find yourself in, the first thing you do is call the police and say you're in fear of your life. That's exactly how you start that call.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and he should have did that when that car first well, once he seen it was her. Now I get y'all saying he recognized it was her before the cars got stopped. I'm saying whenever he did recognize it's her, whenever that happened to be the case, that's when he should have called the police. And
He should have called. He
not
should have
even
called the police whenever he realized
Yeah,
the car was chasing him. I'm in fear of my life.
right.
This is
yeah,
where I'm at.
well, yeah, that's true.
yeah.
And my thing is, when it come down to it, well, that's why I say I think he was on some foolish stuff because he had a piece, so he assumed that he could handle whatever the situation was. So I think he got that false bravery that people get sometimes,
Hey, remember, remember a few shows
Yeah,
ago, I told y'all, I say, man, every Negro when they first get a gun, that gun be talking to them. That gun was
like
talking
like
to us.
like cocaine, like
Yeah,
cocaine talking to Pookie. You want
yeah,
me? You want me, Pookie? You want me?
You know,
yeah.
I got you, big dog. I
Yeah,
got you, big dog.
he listened too. He definitely listened because that gun told him he was the baddest man in the land, and he sure heard it. That's for
What?
sure.
Well, I don't have anything against any man, especially of age, owning a gun. I think you should do it legally. And I think primarily the only time your gun should leave your house is when you're going to the range. That's it. You should only use your weapon at home for self defense, and that weapon should never leave your front door. Those are going to be your best case scenarios in discharging your weapon. Whenever you take your weapon out into the public, it's a crapshoot, even if you're in the right.
Ah, hmm.
Now you
Well,
need to
I
make
If
don't.
sure
somebody,
you're up to snuff.
if,
All your paperwork are right if you're gonna do traveling with your gun
if, if you out in the
in that
public,
road.
if somebody robbing you, just give them the stuff. Give them what they want. Cooperate.
I
Somebody
mean,
doing something to you out in public, cooperate. Hey man, you got it. Somebody
now,
breaking your house, shoot them dead.
now I'm gonna say that. I mean, when it comes down to it, just because you have a gun, don't mean you need to answer every situation with a gun. That's for
That's why I
sure.
say
Plus,
that's why I say leave it at home.
yeah,
You
plus
you,
you,
you got
you
to
really
discipline yourself.
you
Go ahead.
really,
I'm sorry.
no, that's fine. But the thing is, yeah, you really shouldn't be trying to even pull a gun out on somebody who already got a gun pulled on you in the first place. So that should be out the window, realistically, you know. So not taking it anywhere, I don't know. But I do
Don't take it
understand your
nowhere.
point. I can see your point for sure. And at the end of the day, you do have to operate as if you're in a situation where the people are already against you. That's as a black man, that's what you kind of just need to do. I understand they're already against me. So how can I put this into my favor, if any way at all, or at least just try to get it even because they already against me? I think that's a reasonable way to look at it. That's why I said he made on a few different mistakes. Now, I'm not mad at him for trying to get away from that quote unquote toxic relationship, as they called it. But I do believe any woman you need to have counseling with that is not your wife, you just need to find somebody else. And I honestly believe that. I know we sometimes be with women, sometimes you be with them for a long period of time and you don't want to walk away. Bro, if she's not your wife, it is not that serious. And I'm saying that because you didn't make her your wife. So you're actually communicating through how you're sending signals into the world that she ain't even worth it. If you're not gonna marry her, why counsel with her? Just find somebody else. Okay? Now somebody else will probably be a more appropriate choice at the end of the day. But you're saying a whole lot by the fact that you haven't married. You know, so he did. He obviously waited too
Yeah.
long to change his situation with her. But these things can't happen the very first time too. So, it's a crapshoot no matter what the woman is. So you got to be ready on all levels in a society that already don't like you. And I think
Yep.
he wasn't necessarily operating that way. He doesn't operate with a society that doesn't like him. A lot, and you know what? Even I'm gonna say this, even in the content I do, because some people will wonder why I talk about black people so heavily and not other people. Man, everything different with us. Sure, you can find some certain similarities here and there, but everything different with us. If you have an issue with your woman and you white, you might get a fair shake. I'm not gonna even guarantee a white man that. But if you have an issue with a woman and you black, you're not gonna get a fair shake. That's just automatic. You gotta already understand you're not getting a fair shake. So the moves you make need to incorporate the fact that you're not going to get a fair shake no matter what happens. I don't even think this guy got a fair shake. Am I going to disagree with the fact he got the best deal he going to get? I actually agree with that. I think in our climate, there was no way he was going to get a better deal than what he got. I still think it was too much, but I don't know how he going to make it better than what he actually got. So I think he about to do 10 and a half years because he got to be in there perfect. And guess what? When other people find out your time is kind of short, they gonna mess with you anyway. And he's probably gonna respond to something. I'm not trying to wish it on him. I'm just being realistic. He probably finna do 10 and a half years. You know? But I mean, that's better than 20. It's
And
better than
Roger,
40.
Roger, when you first going out with a girl, that should be the best time that you have. When you first dating a girl, that's going to be you ain't go, it's not going to get either going to stay the same or get worse. So if you have to go through counseling and you going through all this drama in the beginning, you should just automatically understand that it doesn't get better. It either stays the same or gets worse.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. And see the thing is we didn't get a time frame for the relationship. They said on again, off again, but these still people that's young. So I don't know if they was high school sweethearts or maybe they kind of came together right after high school. We don't really know. Or maybe they on again, off again was happening rather quickly because you can be with somebody for 3 months, then break up, then you're back with them in the next month. Then, 6 months down the road, y'all done again. And then 2 months after that, y'all back on. We don't really know what the time frame is of the on again, off again. But as a black man, if you need counseling, which obviously they needed, which clearly they needed, what happened shows the counseling wasn't a good idea if they were going to keep rocking with each other. But I'm just saying, if you need counseling, you need a new woman. That's too much to
Absolutely.
invest in for a woman that you don't even see as a wife.
Right.
Yeah,
I
you can
think
go down to
he been
Colombia
around
where
for
they
a
smiling
while.
at you and being real gentle and sweet with you. And see,
Right,
say
because
plainly.
the anger the way they looked at the courtroom towards like the feeling of the situation of him getting sentenced. He must have known him for a while, and we got to add in the fact that he was the pallbearer for the mama, so he had to. I'm not letting no new nigga be no pallbearer for nothing in mine. So you had to have been around a while.
Yeah, I do believe that was the case. I think it's possible they've been around a good 4-5 years with each other. It's just that because they come from dysfunction, the dysfunction ain't a big deal for the other people. That's what I believe it is. They come from dysfunction, so other people see the dysfunction. It's cool with them, and they just rock with the dysfunction. But let me
I
get
said,
these. Oh, go ahead, and then I'm gonna get these new guys in. Go ahead.
now I was saying when he was getting sentenced and he was giving his appeal, how he felt, you could see the wheels turning. There's some other things that he wanted to say about her that wasn't too good. You could see that in his body language. But he didn't want to hang himself. He didn't want to hang himself. There was some shit he wanted to say. You can see that.
By the way, your dead sister was super trifling.
Right.
Just give you a mess on the way out. By the way, she was super trifling. Go ahead, Truth. Get in there.
I'm gonna come on here ball bashing again. I gotta castrate you gentlemen, and I'm targeting the word balls because this patriarchal nonsense is atrocious.
Where's he going?
I told y'all niggas we cannot be like this. You need to adopt feminism so we can make this world better. She was a monster. Did you see the picture they showed in the newsreel? She had the long nails, the weave, and she had a weird, evil smile in the photo. They had police reports about how she assaulted and abused this man. She was a monster, and y'all don't want to call it out and think he deserved 8 years because it's better than life. This is atrocious. We need to incorporate feminism in our lives so we can make sure equality is preserved and men like him could be saved. Because this man is going to suffer almost a decade in jail for trying to save his own life. She's a villain. She should be treated that way. That's all I have to say.
Hey, I mean,
I support the message.
Exactly. I need Keenan Ivory Reigns right now saying message.
Let it be known that the one in Canada supports the Second Amendment in this case.
Ain't that interesting?
There we go.
Ain't that interesting?
There we go. No support for the Second Amendment.
This is a real simple fix, man. That chick came to the car twice. When she was on the way back to the car the second time, he should have got out, beat the brakes off her, and did his 60 days in jail. He'd been all right.
No, because if he would have beat the brakes off her and she fell and hit her head, he'd be in jail for murder still. He took care of himself appropriately. He protected himself. Obviously, she's a threat. She wasn't afraid of him. She came to the car twice.
Why he was
Who you think was the bigger threat, him or her? Obviously, it wasn't him.
Yeah, I think she was going to the trunk. That's just what I'm gonna say. If she left and came back, she went to go get some. But let Ray get in here. Ray, you got it, man. Ray, you on mute.
Yeah, man, this is true, man. Oh, hell no. Like, this is, I don't know, this is above the level. Yeah, this got to be above the level of Jonathan Majors, man, what happened to him, because that is beyond diabolical, man. Like, I'm pissed. 8 years for defending himself against his abusive ass girlfriend. Nonsense.
Well, I mean, you got a dead lady on the streets, as Black Hooves said. And keep in mind, y'all, the media saying that this man was chasing her down. So I kind of do think the sentences the judge gave I think that was a little bit media influence, just because she went and said something to the media after the fact. I think it was a little media influence. I know the man wasn't gonna just walk away. I do get that. That's why I said 8 years. I can agree if he could only get 8 years done. That's the best
See,
deal he's
Roger,
gonna get. I just don't think it was a fair deal.
you just don't believe in a
Well,
man
you
being
better
able to
call the
stand
SWAT
his
team
ground.
fucking with me.
No, he couldn't stand his ground. How was that equal?
What?
We
No, no.
need to get
I'm not
feminism
saying.
incorporated.
I'm not saying he shouldn't stand his ground. I think he should have got sentenced only for not having a properly registered gun, and
There we
only
go.
for putting that gun in the sewer. I, if this is me, I did those things. I can see you hit me for those things, but hit me because some lady died who attacked me. That's a
That's
that's a
crazy.
little too much. If I got to serve that time,
This
that's
is
how I'm
why
looking at
we
it.
need.
No,
This is why we need to promote feminism, y'all. Y'all don't believe me. You don't believe me, and y'all niggas don't listen. Y'all never really studied feminism.
Don't say
Feminism
that shit.
says, feminism says women need to be treated equally as men, which inversely means men need to be treated
Okay.
equally as women. So therefore, if a woman was in this situation and she popped him, it's cool. She was protecting herself. Well, if they're equal to us, then that also means it's cool for us. So I
Well,
don't know why he's in jail according to feminism. He should be free and living his life because this threat to him is now been taken care of and he can now peacefully enjoy the rest of his life.
Well, I'm gonna say feminism is definitely the wrong word because feminism has always went after female superiority. It's never went after equality. Because if feminism was about equality, it wouldn't even exist no more in America because they literally got more. The women literally have more rights than the men at this point. So if it was
You
about
proven you proven
equality,
truth teller right. You proven truth teller right, bro.
no, I'm not. I'm saying feminism
Ding,
is
ding,
about
ding.
If
feminism
she's the
is about female
if she's
superiority.
the if she's the superior one, you can shoot her.
No,
There you go.
no,
Somebody
I
got
get,
it.
I get it, I get it. But I got to say it because at the end of the day, you got to say the type of stuff. I know, I see what Truth Teller.
Okay,
This
gotcha.
ain't his first time doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with you, but I got to say it at some point that yeah, feminism is truly about female superiority, which is why he can't defend himself against this woman because you know I'm not even doing something like I'm trying to be anti-woman. I'm just trying to be realistic. If this is me, what do I think should happen? What if I got to serve this time? What if I did what he did? No, he definitely made some mistakes in this scenario. Because yeah, he could have tried. He could have at least attempted to get out the other car door first. He could have pulled up in AutoZone, got out the car, and ran it. There's different things he could have done. So I said from Jump Street, he didn't handle the situation quite right. I get that, but everybody don't handle everything quite right. That's just part of life. But my thing is just get me charged for what I did. Don't charge me for what she did. I had a gun. I had no intentions of shooting her. She did not get shot as long as she was on the outside of that car and was not a quote unquote threat to me. She only got shot because I was happened to be holding the gun when she attacked me. That is the only reason that gun went off. She did that. Why I gotta give up 8 years because she made the gun go off? That's gonna be my position. You know,
Well, I mean, look, none of us are citing actual Maryland law with respect to the proper use of deadly force in that scenario. As somebody mentioned earlier, Florida in particular has some very different views about that kind of stuff. We saw that somewhat famously play out with the Trayvon Martin trial, and there've been a few other high profile trials where people in Florida got some interesting play in the legal system because it's a fairly pro gun and pro self defense state. So I mean, we don't even really know specifically what the Maryland statutory law says with respect to whether, when, and how deadly force can be used. And then, of course, that's going to involve licensure of gun. And of course, he did not have any licensing of the gun. I don't even know if he formally even owned the gun. So that's going to definitely side against him, even in applying some sort of self-protection criteria that might be within the statutory law. So again, 8 years, given this situation, best possible scenario for him.
Well, I do agree he wasn't gonna get nothing better than 8 years, but I'm gonna say it is a ghost gun. You cannot properly own a ghost gun, so that's an impossibility right there. So that's why
Here
I'm
go my
still.
defense for that, Roger.
Well,
I got a
let me just
defense for
say
that.
that's why even though I don't want him to get hit for the manslaughter at all, I still think he still got the best deal he gonna get because of the climate of America. I just don't think that he possibly gets a better deal than this. Go ahead though.
I was gonna say she forced him to get a ghost gun because he was trying to get a firearm to defend himself based on all the previous history of abuse, but he couldn't get one. You know what I mean? Because it's hard to get it in that state. So he went with the only option he had, which was getting his ghost firearm until he could temporarily get a legal one. His life was in jeopardy the whole time, Roger. What do you expect him to do? Not defend it, not
He got
protect himself?
robbed. He got robbed before this incident. A week before.
See?
A week before. So he had to get the ghost gun.
And we don't know if she was connected. So we
Yeah,
gotta make sure.
I was just thinking that too. He got robbed. She probably told him where to rob him. He gonna be over here at right around 3:00, 3:30. He gonna be right over here. This way he get off work. Okay, get him right there. I know.
Listen, look, that kind of life is horrible to live, man. You in panic, people following you. Why would she follow him to an auto? Come on, man. He got robbed and then people following him. What kind of movie is this? He had to protect himself, man.
But regardless, though, to the black women, dear black women, American black women, this title alone is why we are not trying to mess with you anymore. That's what it is.
Well, shout out to Compassionate Callous. He said everybody who carries without L's knows in the event if you get caught using it, you're going to jail. Period. Laugh out loud. I mean, yeah, that's gonna happen, and it did happen for the guy. And I'm not even fighting against the fact that he went to jail for it, and he went to jail for the tampering. I mean, getting sentenced because you tampered and had the illegal firearm in the first place. I'm not even tripping about that.
Man,
it's just that manslaughter part to me that was just a little too much.
How many motherfuckers with license are nuttier than squirrel shit don't even need a gun?
Well,
that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Hold on. Let's bring the cursing down. We don't want cursing here. Just try to contain ourselves. Okay.
It doesn't matter the state of a person's mind. He discharged an illegally owned firearm. I can see him doing time for that. But the manslaughter, no.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna say shout out to Afro Merchant. Appreciate you, my brother. He said I need Truth and Roger on my legal team. Well, that's because you're trying to get off. That's what that means. You trying to get off. Sims don't want me because Sim wanted to do time. Okay.
If you want to charge him for the gun, give him the charge. Don't charge him the other bull crap, but just charge him for a whole year for the gun. That's it.
No. Somebody died. That's the only reason why he's doing time. If she survives,
I'm gonna blame the authorities because why would they let such a person freely roam about and threaten other legal citizens of the state? They already arrested her. They had reports that she was violent. Why would they allow her to completely torment and torture this young man? What were they thinking?
Go away, truth teller. Go away.
I know in those situations, though, man, I think if you do have a situation where the other person doesn't press charges, they still need to go to somebody's counsel. Make their ass go to counsel. So they don't do bullshit again. Waste their time for wasting the police time.
I mean, but my thing is, if you got to go to counseling, that's an indicator y'all ain't supposed to be with each other.
But Roger, he could not go to counseling. You see what happened when he tried to break it off? She came after him. Well, what do you think would have happened if he said, I ain't going to counsel with you. I'm good. We're breaking it off. He might not be here today.
The only way he gets out of this without any time whatsoever is if he has a restraining order. That's it.
Nah, they
If
still would give him time for having the ghost gun and the fact that he tried to
Nah,
discard the weapon.
nah. The
You still
restraining
get time
order
for that.
says that you're under threat of your life.
Hey, he was a
Yeah, but it doesn't clear you from getting proper paperwork done on a gun, though.
I just used what was available at that point.
well, good
Hey,
question. Good
I
question.
found I
He looked
found
like
it.
a
I
slim
found it in
dude.
the AutoZone.
Sorry, go ahead.
I found it in the AutoZone parking lot. It was right there in the AutoZone parking lot. That's where I found it.
In the parking lot. God damn. The first thing I grabbed, officer, I don't even know where it came from. Was
Well,
I don't
I
know
mean,
whose firearm this is, officer. I saw it and I grabbed it. My life was in
nah,
jeopardy.
it
So,
depends.
quick question.
It depends
Does
on
any?
witnesses because I didn't hear any witnesses mention.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, he was on
Honestly,
camera.
I
Yeah.
was he. Yeah, it depends on what they saw. Because for me, oh, they did mention the cameras though. They did mention the camera. Because I would say for me, that's her gun. You know what I'm saying? She left it in my car or something, but that's her gun.
She
You
forgot
know,
it.
but
And I just thought about it too. What if he didn't have a gun? And that same white man that called in on him about the shooting, would he have called in saying he got his ass beat if he didn't use the gun?
yeah, but
No, he would have just filmed it.
yeah, but I'm gonna say honestly, there wasn't no real way to put the gun on her because the judge said what she saw on camera, so there was no way for him to maneuver that gun or whatever to make it not be his. Because of course that would have been my first thought. That's her gun. She did
Was
anyway. That's
she?
her gun.
Yeah, I
Was
was like,
she a big back?
I took that from her, Your Honor, because I thought that she was going to use it on me.
Yeah.
Well, quick question: was she a big back? Did she? Was she a thickums?
Yeah,
I'm sure
I
she
linebacker.
wouldn't
was.
know. How do y'all? I
Huh?
mean, they really didn't show that great of a picture of her. So
Boy, that
Yeah,
neck
I'm
tells it
asking
all,
because I
Roger.
didn't
That
really
neck,
see the weave and the fingernails.
that
Threw it away. Is that what you say?
Let me see.
I'm just trying to
weave,
figure
See if
out
I can
fingernails,
find
and
the image.
if she
well,
weighed more than him, then yeah, she's a threat. They need to account for that. More than
well,
you
likely,
didn't
she
see that
did.
22-inch neck in the picture? The 24-inch neck?
Damn! Jesus!
let me go back and look at this again. But y'all, compassion that came up. So let me let compassion get in real
if
quick. Compassion, what's good, my brother? Oh, is he coming up?
22-inch neck. Callus,
Compassion,
you gotta come up here now. Yeah, I can't get past that.
compassion, was you coming up to say something? Okay, maybe he was just doing some background stuff. I don't
you feel
know.
me?
I thought compassion and Cal was coming up to say something, but he's still on mute. So we're gonna keep it moving. We're
You
gonna keep
probably
it
find
Hey,
some
moving.
more
hey,
videos.
Roger. Hey, Roger.
Find some
Thank
more videos,
God, man.
compassionate.
Thank God with your stream, dude. It's not like where every 5 minutes I got to deal with a damn ad when I watch it. Thank God.
You know the ads make me money, right?
Shit.
If for me,
No,
mention something.
yeah, I ain't got nothing to do with the ad. That's the system. That's the system. So if you don't see ads, that just means well, I ain't gonna even say I ain't gonna. There's no public read. Hey, y'all doing a great job over here. That's what the system. Y'all doing a great job. We gonna move on from that.
Yep.
We gonna move away from that. We gonna move away from that. But go ahead,
Nah,
Gil.
We're
she
doing
wasn't that big. She
Yeah,
looked like she
okay.
looked like she about 125, 130.
What? Nah,
Yeah.
I saw her sister. Her sister is a big back. She probably was a
Nah,
big back.
the sister is a hippopotamus.
Well, just because I mean, her sister may not even had no man. She had a man, and only her weight can be considered if we're going to take her as a threat to the guy. My thing is, I don't even consider her being a threat until you throw in the part where she goes after the gun. Once somebody goes after a gun, they're doing that to shoot it, and they're probably going to shoot the person that they're trying to take the gun from. That's just reasonable to me. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that's why I say for me the whole manslaughter thing don't even sit well with me because now it's unfortunate that he got kind of quote unquote tricked into pleading to something because they was throwing the murder stuff around. And my thing is, if anything, somebody needs to be disbarred or somebody needs to say something to these lawyers or whoever is setting this stuff, trying to get this man to plead for stuff that he really don't need to be pleading to. Something should be
He
done about that. if
He
anything.
I mean, where are the
he
lawyers
pled.
to come in to defense of black men? I mean, where are they?
It was a black lawyer that he had,
With Ben
and
Crump
he
at?
pled. He pled to what he should have been charged with, which means he should have got a plea deal lesser than what he got. That's my angst with the lawyer.
Yeah, but I'm sure that attorney pleaded, accepted that in lieu of not being able to get what Roger would have wanted him to get. So you guys are
Right.
looking at a negotiation from a one-sided perspective. You know, when they may have been having a meeting like, look, you take this involuntary manslaughter, or we're taking this to trial. And when we take this to trial, it's going to come out. You had a gun, it wasn't registered, you didn't own it. What other bodies are on that gun? And what's your association with whatever bodies are on that gun? You threw the gun away. You know, everything. So everything opens up about you at that point. And at all, you young Negro, you're going to prison for that. The girl is dead. You're going to prison. You're not going to not go
Man,
to prison for that.
give him 3 years, two
You are
years
not
probation.
going to go to prison for that.
You definitely
3
will.
years, 2 years
I mean, I don't know
probation.
where I don't that's some fantasy bullshit. That's
No.
some fantasy bullshit. That is not happening in this political environment.
And
No way.
you gotta consider a ghost gun is worse than an unregistered gun. A ghost gun has a serial number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
You're
you're going
that's
to
federal.
ATF territory there and FBI territory there with ghost guns, street weaponry, unregistered, illegally manufactured. You're going into some federal type situations there.
He should have shot her and said he took the gun from her. He shouldn't have hid the gun. He should have said if it wasn't no camera footage, I would have said she ran up on me with a ghost gun. I snatched it from him and shot her, and I'm gonna put it on the hood and wait for the police to come. That'd have been my story because it's a ghost gun. It's not my gun, not necessarily.
Well, I think yeah, that could come into play, but unfortunately there was cameras, so that wasn't gonna work for him. And y'all, I'm gonna just throw this up as a warning. Chef Mike saying, "Who was that talking over Black Guru?" So y'all better be careful.
Roger.
This hater right here. It wasn't me. Okay, it wasn't me, but I'm just heeding the warning.
See, my question, I wonder, was he a felon prior to this?
No, I didn't hear nothing about him, any criminal background on him. I didn't hear nothing. Like the dude seemed like he clean.
You know how we
He
know?
was clean. He was clean.
You know how we know he wasn't a felon? Because they ain't got no prior jail mug shots for this nigga nowhere.
Listen, this past summer, I had to lecture a group of young niggas on 69th, like literally on one of my cousins and his friends.
That means 43rd, y'all. That's what that means. If y'all trying to
Yeah,
have an idea what 69th is, the way I joke about 43rd, that's what he talking about.
43rd Street, nigga.
I better get off my block.
I'm literally telling them, we got to spread this to young men. None of them have felonies, and y'all know that area. They all gang affiliated. And I'm like, nigga, all of y'all need to go get your licenses. If you don't have a felony and you're gonna be around some gun type shit and your gun plays and y'all playing with guns and shit, go get a gun card. Go get your conceal and carry. All that ghost gun shit and all this other unnecessary shit. You like 18 years old, you 19 years old with a clean record. Go get your paperwork. That'll avoid a lot. You can get into shootouts. You was defending yourself with a concealed and carry license. Like, but a lot of young men end up getting their first case or a situation like that. What the fuck is you got a ghost gun for, bro? You don't even have a felony. Go get a gun card.
It's the aversion to authority.
Get that spice 12.
Hold fast. Now we got to point out compassion and callous because I already pointed out Ray. Heavy with the curtain, just heavy with it. Let's relax it a little bit. Let's relax it a little bit. But I don't think that's aversion to authority. I think a lot of young black men just ain't taught the right way to do stuff, and this is a manifestation of them not being taught to do things in a proper order. because
Wait a second.
there is a good point of they don't have anything on their background, at least not at that particular point in time. So why aren't they trying to do it the right way?
Wait a second. Let's test that theory. Compassionate. What were they saying about that information as you were sharing it?
They said I was 100% right. Well, I had to explain to them, you all of y'all have a right to bear arms. You have a right to have a gun. Y'all all hiding guns and y'all playing with dirty guns for no reason. Y'all all got guns, but none of y'all got gun cards. None of y'all have felonies, which that doesn't restrict y'all from getting a gun card. Go get a gun card. You can, if you're gonna be a gangbanger, you might as well be able to legally carry a gun.
Was there any pushback before the agreement, or was there immediate
Absolutely
agreement?
no pushback, because it was like the first time somebody told them, on not telling them, hey, just don't gang bang. Hey, go to school. I told, hey, look, go get your gun card. That's going to eliminate 50% of the cases that y'all gonna catch.
See, and because there was no pushback, that's what I say. It's not necessarily an aversion. A lot of people are just raised and they're never taught. We don't teach people to critically think in the ways they need to. That's why I be jokingly saying, we got to put our thinking caps on. That was that was a thing when I was a kid. I heard teachers saying, put your thinking cap on, and I believe it has went away because I've never really heard people saying it, not just to adults but children. I don't ever really hear that phrase anymore, as if nobody really says it. So it's like we don't encourage critical thinking. And I just think we just make much better decisions if we are used to critically thinking. You're not going to be a critical thinker at every moment, in every situation, but we need to get used to being critical thinkers. So we're probably critically thinking at the right time. But if you're not used to it, you probably won't be. And that's what I'm saying. His situation, he needed just a little critical thinking to much better improve his situation. He just didn't. He don't seem to have a background because they didn't mention none of that. I don't think the judge gonna go as hard for him as he was if he got a terrible background. Even the young lady who put the video together wasn't trying to throw him under the bus with some previous background, so I don't think he got one.
Maybe he may be able to appeal for a better sentence than what he got. I don't know. Later on down the road, who knows?
He had a gun.
Hopefully,
bro. Like Uru said, for all they know, you kill people with that gun.
Yeah. And I'm going to say, truth be told, if you only get 10 and a half years, because that's what he got at the most, and you kill somebody, you probably don't need to appeal that. You probably need to let that ride. And he can get out 8 if everything go right. He can get out 8. I don't think that's the one I necessarily want to appeal.
And just think about it. If he had a legal gun, the facts of this case that we know, this would have been a legal shooting. He was fleeing from the lady and everything. He would have been good.
Well, he never flee. He didn't flee. Well, I guess he technically did, because when in the car, he technically did flee from the lady. So, yeah, I think if this was a legal gun, you make a good point. If this was a legal gun, there is no case possibly. Now, he's black, so that's why I say possibly. He's still a nigga in the eyes of the law.
now keep in mind we talk about the same system that messed up Jonathan Majors now, who was running from a chick who had no gun, and they still.
That's what I'm saying. He possibly don't have a case because the criminal justice is still gonna see a nigga, and they gonna examine what can we do to this nigga. So he possibly don't have a case if the gun is legal.
His problem was he hid the gun. If he just stood there with the gun, they show up, arrest him. He says on the scene, I shot her, I killed her, she's been threatening me, da 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 da. He's in a much better position, and it's more difficult.
He's still getting cooked though.
Let me add this.
He going to jail.
Hold on. Let me add this to your advice, just in case somebody listen to that advice. When the police show up, the gun should be unloaded and in the trunk.
Yes.
You don't have that gun where anybody can say there was a chance you about to use it again. That gun should be in the trunk and unloaded at that particular point. If you don't know how to unload it, then at least in the trunk closed and locked, keys on the I'm trying to say dashboard, but the hood of the car or the top of the car, so they can clearly be seen with the car locked. The car's locked. The gun is in the truck.
I ain't gonna lie, Roger. The advice I'm gonna tell nigga, if you do not shoot nobody and get caught with a ghost gun. If you got a ghost gun and you're not supposed to get caught with a ghost gun. I don't care, even if it's a reasonable shooting or you got the right, you cannot shoot somebody and get caught. That's the key word. And get caught with that gun. Even you throw it in the trunk and disarm yourself, you're still gonna get 8 years for having a scratched off serial number because you could be a hitman, nigga. That's how they looking at it. Like, and you really can't. You're like on some Scarface shit, Tony baby. I can only argue so much. Like, nigga, you have a ghost gun. You have a scratched. You don't just have a gun that's just not registered to you. You have a scratched, an untraceable gun. So no, do not shoot nobody with an untraceable gun and think you're gonna have any. You're probably gonna end up getting a fucking man. They're gonna try to make it murder. You're in a wild ass legal area with a ghost gun. Do not get caught with a ghost gun, bro. If you got a ghost gun, make sure you shooting them and you can get away. And then it's a cold case. Otherwise,
hell, put a silencer on it. Shit.
Well, if you got a ghost
at the end of the day, if you're not truly living a life of crime, you don't need no ghost gun. I mean, this dude was incredibly lucky, and that's why, even though I disagree with certain things in the case, just as Black Rule said, this is the best deal he was gonna get. I still agree with that fact. I don't think he gets something better. He got a ghost gun. You still got a dead lady at the end of the day. So I don't see how he comes out better than if I be good, I can literally get out in 8 years.
No,
I think he got too much, but I just can't see it being better.
The only way it comes out better if he doesn't get caught, and this is a cold case.
Well, he was definitely gonna get caught because he went to the auto zone.
Yeah, he was all over the place. He didn't have no business having a ghost gun. Like you don't even move like somebody that needs a ghost gun.
I'm gonna say what I said before, y'all. I did security for a while.
Now I'm with that one. What he said.
Well, I'm saying I did security for a while though. Now I could have started taking jobs where you get a job where you can carry a gun, or you take the jobs where you don't have to carry a gun. I'm being realistic. It's more money to carry the gun and go to work. But why I want to do the security where I need a gun? No, I don't want that. Now, would something bad happen to me? Probably not. But it only takes one bad thing to happen where it's a big deal. And I just don't need that to be me. I don't care about them people, stuff like that anyway. So I'm saying it's the same thing. If you ain't really prepared to take on what comes with the whole world of having a ghost gun, why have one in the first place? Because that's just anybody else, this sentence would have been way worse. You know what I'm saying? Just because the fact that the ghost gun was present.
Look,
what you say?
I keep telling you, Roger, the ghost gun was hers because she's the one underage, and she probably gave it to him because he's of age to be able to get a gun.
I'm 100% with that story. If the cameras wasn't there, that was her gun. But everything was on camera, so you can't manipulate the ownership of the gun. That you know what I'm saying. Remember, the lady said I saw the different tapes and what she saw on the tapes. So there's no way to put the gun on her. And so for him, that's what I'm saying. Even though I don't even agree with it, I still don't believe he's getting a better deal. If he could somehow be good for 8 years, he can actually get out. I see that as extremely hard to do, especially if other people find out what kind of time you got, because people be hating. But 10.5 years, even if something does happen, still ain't even all that bad for a black man in America in today's climate. But I'm just trying to bring this up because hopefully the climate will start to change a little bit. I want people to be able to see him as the victim. I don't see her as the victim at all. She attacked a man with a gun and she got killed. That sounds reasonable to me. I ain't taking no fist to a gunfight.
Yeah. I'm fine with him getting charged with a ghost gun.
Yeah.
Like, as long as it sounded like he was defending himself, that should be self-defense. But the ghost gun gonna up that charge. You just can't get away from that.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. If you ain't finna be no hitman, don't even involve yourself like that. And you are right, Compassionate. Somebody need to tell these young folks, man, bro, you can legally have one.
Right.
You operating as if you can't legally have one, but you actually can. You just got to do a little process, you know? So, my thing though is, should she be seen as a victim, or should he be seen as a victim? Or maybe for some people, both of them are victims. For me, I only see one victim. I see a man who ended up needing to do 8 years over a chick who attacked him. I only see one victim. Only him. Now, I hate the fact that he had a gun that he shouldn't have had. I hate the fact that he didn't respond better to the situation. But to me, he the only victim I see. I don't see her as a victim at all. She literally chased a man down to fight a man with a gun. If you give me that scenario with anybody, I'm thinking you're going to die. If you just say some random person chased down some guy who had a gun, some random person cornered a guy with the gun, and some random person started fighting a guy with the gun, and you say, well, what you think happened? I'm gonna say the person who chased down probably died. That's what I'm gonna think. Because I think that's the reasonable conclusion.
Well, I think
hold on, before you say that, shout out to No Placeholder. He said the camera is why he wasn't charged with second degree.
No,
that's a good.
No,
that's a point, though. That's a point.
Degree is because he has a ghost gun. The ghost gun allows a prosecutor to argue with reasonable person can assume that the only people that will be walking around with untraceable guns in their possession are people that intend on hurting people with it. So that is the only reason you can make it a first degree premeditated. That nigga, only people that have a untraceable gun on them are violent people who intend on using it. So if you end up using it, you're not the same as a victim that had a gun legally and just got caught off guard. You're a motherfucker. You can make the case that you could potentially be an aggressor walking around with an untraceable gun just by having an untraceable gun.
Yeah. And that's why I say people got to learn stuff about the law. Because I'm not saying that ain't a good point. I'm not saying that some prosecutor wouldn't make that exact argument because it sounds good. But as a juror, I need to understand that the only thing that's on trial is the events of the moment, not what your intentions is on a regular basis. It's the events of the moment. The moment that we in court for, that's the only thing that I'm trying you over. So that's a good argument to sway people.
Well, but also what gets in that trial is all other kinds of things that we ain't heard nothing about, including the possibility that in the heat of a moment he threatened her. And then you also get to bring in all of her family and his family and everybody as witnesses. And, they were in counseling together. So obviously they had a very fractious relationship. And there probably were threats going across both sides of the aisle. See, once it goes into trial, you lose all control. The attorney knows that.
And I do agree that it's probably way better for him that he didn't go to trial because she did say it was hundreds of messages between them two. Now, what two people, man and woman, who mad at each other, gonna do hundreds of messages and all of them cool? That didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? I could bet my life that didn't happen. It's some bad stuff in there.
These young folks in particular are very quick to throw these sort of fatalistic threats at each other. Bitches, if you come near me again, I'm gonna shoot your ass, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You might not meant it, you might not have meant it, but
how about this to avoid the whole damn? How about this to avoid the whole damn thing now? Okay, look, young man, when a woman is showing you signs, those red flags, okay, that she is a damn chaos goblin, adhere to those and run from her. Leave her alone. Don't stay in it and ignore those red flags. Because when you ignore them, you are lured into situations like this. Agree or not, I don't give a damn. That's what it is. Concrete.
Well, I'm saying that's what the problem is with black men. That stuff looks normal because most of us see so much from the anti-family, dysfunctional single mother community that we think a woman doing that is just a woman being a woman. I'm saying that's part of our problem as men. We think that's her just being a woman. That that's reasonable. But don't they all act like that? Unfortunately, we buy into this stuff and then we end up in situations like this one where it just ain't good for anybody. It just ain't good because it wasn't good for her because she dead. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say it's good for her. And he about to do at least 8 years over, you know what I'm saying, something that just really wasn't working because they was in council in the first place. And I'm going to say, y'all, do be careful what you send into people too, because y'all know how black people is. Black people, we don't actually do it the way white folks do it. We say it, but we don't do it. Black people talk about killing people. White folks be killing people. But we do say, y'all, and now if you go up with the stuff we say, nigga, I kill you. That come out so easy. Nigga, I'm gonna blow this thing up. I'm gonna blow this up, your whole block. We
But
say all
then,
kinds of stuff
but
where
then you'll say, but then you have those, Roger, that will say, "How is that so?" But because black folks are killing each other more than
well,
white
no.
folks.
I'm trying to make a point that we do say it. We may not actually go do it, but the way we talk,
I
we do
hear you.
say this stuff on a regular basis. So, that's a real thing amongst us. We don't do it, but we gonna talk. We talk real good about how we gonna kill up man, I'll kill everybody up in here. Quit playing with me. Y'all heard stuff like that plenty of times. Nigga, I'll bomb this joint. We done heard that plenty of times. So we gotta be careful on how we be talking, y'all. We gonna have to tone that down a little bit before somebody get hit in the courtroom with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure people have already been hit in the courtroom with it, but I'm just saying we're gonna have to tone it down a little bit.
It's a gift and a curse, Roger, because we're a very emotional, expressive people. So like that's what makes us such good artists. We can express how we feel, linguistically. But then, like you said, on the other hand, we a little bit over the top and very hurt about how we feel, at the same time. So yeah,
when we talk about bringing the thunder, we gonna clear this whole thing out. I'm saying, it ain't gonna be 1 or 2 people. We clear this whole thing out. But now I was about to bring it to a close, but we got a special guest. So we gonna stretch it out just a little bit more to give him time to get
You better
something in
not
here.
close this out. I'll kill everybody up here.
Cookie Raw, we gonna hold this open we'll do this for another 15 minutes just so you can get time to get in and people can reply and all that good stuff. So we gonna do 15 minutes extra because he just showed up.
It's all good. I was just coming for the end, but I can give a closing statement, and then you could just wrap it up.
Oh, okay. Well, should I let these other guys have a closing statement? Or only you.
Damn, that's too much privilege for this Negro.
Well,
too much privilege.
He got the last
Roger?
word, y'all. He got the last word. It is what it is. Go ahead, my brother.
All right, so the man gets 8 years for defending himself. It's diabolical. He's a Pookie number one, and Pookies get with the Pookie lifestyle, right? He up here washing his ass, eating hot Cheetos, and he's dealing with Keisha, and that's just some Pookie shit. And defending himself, man, that is a stretch. All we know, she just opened the door and he just start blasting, right? He just start blasting her, just like all the Pookies be blasting in the vagina raw, shooting up the club. He shot her, and then threw the gun in a crate. So come on, guys, come on. I mean, this is the wrong person to defend, and that's my closing statement. And I have a wonderful evening.
And I'm gonna let him have the last word, but I am gonna correct. The gentleman did say she lunged in the car to go after that gun. He did say that. So I'm just saying that's just a correction. I ain't finna change up nothing. But y'all, I think it was a great show. And hold on now. Hold on. Well, let me see. Is he coming for the back? You coming for the back chat, or you coming to say something before I go off air, my brother? You know who I'm talking to. Good to see you back there. Well, I guess I'm gonna put them up. I'm gonna put them up real quick. My main man, AL, you coming for the back chat, or you coming to get a word in before we go off air?
Back chat, only back chat.
Okay. Well, y'all, I said I was gonna give him the last word. Mr. What is he today? Pookie Raw. So he got the last word. I ain't even gonna say nothing else. It's been a great show. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like the real content that you're gonna get over here. We do this at 9 a.m. Chicago time, not where you live, unless you live here. 9 a.m. Chicago time, Monday through Friday. We will see y'all next time around. Long live the habitual line steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.